Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy.
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. Topher! Can you hear me?
Slurpees in 7-Eleven. What's going on there? I don't know what to do. Hello?
Hey! Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. We were all gone last week, which was a bad week to miss because a lot of things obviously happened. And we can play a little bit of catch-up today. Obviously, some big news over the weekend as well. 2 playoff games yesterday. Lots of things to talk about. We do not have a phone, as someone has removed the phone from the studio because we were gone for a week. So that means someone had to take the phone.
Well, someone took all the pencils and someone took the phone.
But there's a phone in here. It's been in here forever. And then someone
Since
took
day
the phone.
one, that phone's been there.
Oh, yeah. I don't recall the phone never being in here.
Day one, we sat down, cracked the mics, and the phone was there.
We
Yeah.
haven't narrowed down to the weekend because George said that he produced Cerrone and Leroy. Was it Saturday? And it was there Saturday in the afternoon. And then when I was listening to Sean Silver yesterday afternoon, it sounded to me like he was having his producer take the calls from in here. So it sounds like it was like a Saturday night situation, Sunday morning situation.
Just where would it go? I mean,
Why
are there?
would you take it? Why would you move it?
Why would you move it?
It's like taking a microphone
not a
out of
phone
there.
somewhere else. I mean, what's the problem?
Is it out of the realm of possibility that we no longer have phone service and that they just sold the phones for scrap?
That is not outside of the
No, that's certainly a possibility.
Well, he brought 2 phones in here to plug in, Ryan. So we don't know how to, I guess it's a whole situation with the phones. But as soon as we can get our hands on an engineer,
well,
we'll get those phones up and running again. Because
You can call. We just have no way of picking up and talking to you.
I think we could do that in here. We could have a nice
No,
conversation in the control
Well,
room.
why don't you take the calls and relay to us what the caller is saying?
well, every other show has producers take calls. I'm the only one the only host that takes calls in here to my knowledge.
They get screened first, don't they?
Yeah, they do get screened first.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. Well, I just always, and I think for one thing, I actually think that it serves a purpose. I like having control over the phone. Because it sounds better. You don't have to go, all right, hang up on him or what's going on, can I take line 2? It just sounds stupid. It's not bad, but it's just, it's good to be able to take the call, and then if we want to, and I so choose, because I got the phone in front of me, I can hang up on the caller.
Everyone else uses the screen.
Right. Because no one else is here. Which is part of the reason. So I can.
Right.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm in the room.
Yeah.
I'm not in
But
parts
the
unknown.
screen, the French phone screener does freeze up from time to time. So on certain mornings when it's turned this way, I think it's Beetle who will be the one to tap out and say, "No, I'll just use that thing."
I don't know. I've been using the phone, a telephone since the year 1999.
Ryan has identified 3 backup phones. None of them work.
Yeah.
oh, good.
Yes.
You just
Plugged in and tested them all.
You don't have a phone today. Use that screen.
You could tell me we couldn't take phone calls for 2 months if it didn't affect guests. I wouldn't care, but it's just more interesting than anything else that the phone's gone.
Yeah.
that they've decided that someone decided to take the phone.
Oh, it's a caper.
And there's a lot of phones around, too, so it's not like they couldn't have. And I don't think there's an engineer here on the weekend, so that had to be a rogue move of someone just taking the phone out, going rogue.
Well, you see a phone like that and you figure, hey, the one I got at home plugged into the kitchen wall, this real piece of crap, I could have this newfangled thing. You take it home.
This isn't shtick, but when there's a vacation week where a lot of people take vacations, I don't know what goes on in here. I really don't know what people that aren't on the air all the time feel the need to screw with everything. And this isn't like I was signed out of my computer or something. This is removing phones from the studio. Like, worked here in this building for how long? Forget it, any building. I don't know who's ever taken the phone, but there's always something missing. But it's usually a personal item. But I think we've all stopped leaving personal items in here for the most part.
That's correct. We've learned not to do any of that for fear of the jackals that invade when we are gone.
Because for one time, long time ago in Brighton, we had the first golf tournament or something, and I had left like a couple clubs in here, including like a hybrid I think I got in the 80s. And someone stole the hybrid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what that you would do with the thing, but they stole it. And then, of course, there was the most alcoholic thing of all time is that I was endorsing a whiskey, and they sent me 10 bottles of whiskey. And I was like, okay. And I, strangely enough, I didn't take all the whiskey home. I didn't feel the need to, lug it into my car and take it home. And I came back the next day, and there was one bottle left. Someone had taken 9 bottles of whiskey, which is a bold move. 9. Take 1. Even if you took 1, left a note and said, hey,
but
Fred.
You had now, listen, it's not right for anyone to steal your whiskey, okay? Right. Especially during those years. You're really playing with fire.
Yeah. Right.
But
I'd be furious.
You had a habit of getting stuff sent to you whether you asked for it or not. And I would say 99% of the time you didn't ask for it. But stuff that was given to you, you would leave in the studio. And your excuse was the one you just gave. What am I supposed to do? Carry this out to my car? Yes. If it's yours and you're not going to keep it here for the entirety of the time that you own it, yes, you carry it out of the studio into your car and you take it home.
But it should be at my leisure. It wasn't in anyone's way. In Brighton, I had my own area with like a shelf behind me.
And it was in a corner. It's not like he left it in the center of the studio. I got to go with
It could
Fred
not
on
have
this
been.
one.
It was not in any way, shape, or form in anyone's work area.
And far be it from me to impose on your life of leisure, you with your gout and your rich man's disease and your leisurely.
I'm money making. Yeah. I get it. I get it.
Your leisurely way about you. But I specifically remember you complaining about this the first time. Like, what am I supposed to do? Carry this out to my car? Yes.
Well, I shouldn't. That's like saying, "Hey, lady, why do you got to wear such a short skirt?" I mean, you're blaming the victim.
Well, it's leaving your bike unlocked outside.
Yeah, but
what am I supposed to do? Lock it up? Yes. What am I supposed to do? Take the whiskey home? Yes.
I don't know why I think that you should be able to leave something at a place of work in your area and assume that it's not going to be stolen.
Can I tell you one that I think is bad, and maybe you will get a chance to come back at me on this? BCN days, I had a Simpsons chess set. Now nobody would play chess with me at home. So I brought it into work because Hamilton would come on sometimes and it's like, oh, I play chess. I'm like, oh, during frickin' Pearl Jam, Yellow Ledbetter, what am I going to do? Sit there and groove out to the songs?
Right.
There were 15 minutes at a time where you had nothing to do. I'm like, all right, I'll bring it in here. And it was here for about a week. And I came in one Monday and it was gone. Someone had taken the chess set that I brought into the station to have a game of chess every once in a while. Now that one pissed me off. That was someone just took it.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to take this.
They shouldn't have taken it. It's like there's a big bullpen in there with a bunch of desks and cubicles. There's offices that people don't lock. I mean, you shouldn't have to lock your office. Now, if it's like sensitive work materials that like if stolen would be apparently these things exist. If they were stolen, it could get into the wrong hands, and that's your responsibility to lock up. But I mean, there's been a putter in a wedge in this with a putting mat and this thing that catches chips and all these balls. It's been in here, I don't know, forever. There's been this stupid what do you call that? Cornhole game?
It's not stupid.
That's been in here forever. No one's stolen that stuff.
Mini cornhole.
No one's stolen that stuff. It's managed to stay here.
You all right, Hardy?
I'll just ask you this. Have you ever taken someone's things from here?
From here? No.
Well, obviously in your life you've stolen something, but have you ever taken anything from the stations?
No.
No, neither have I. It's not hard. It's not hard. Just take some of your own pictures and cut them up. You don't know how to put it together, you dummy.
It's hard not to steal.
I mean, you just want it so badly.
Would you? Maybe.
9 bottles of whiskey.
Okay. But
why not the whole thing? That's the other part.
Okay.
If you're going to take money, you might as well take that last one.
Just 9 bottles of whiskey.
Because
what are you
if
doing?
were,
it's a 6-day supply.
Because this happens a lot too. Somebody brings in like a box of stuff. Like the Frady's Foundation was kind enough to send like a huge box of stuff, obviously meant for more than just the 3 of us. Hats and hoodies, and we all took something, but you left the rest of it in here for people to take.
Well, what I'll usually do is I'll put it on the table. I think what's been understood is that the table in the kitchen is when you put something onto that table, that means that it's for everyone. In fact, Jim Murray just seems to take things from his home and leave them on the table.
Books, mostly.
It's the side of the road.
Yeah, I took a couple of those books.
Yeah, you did. You're a big library guy. Adam used them for kindling.
Yeah, after I read them.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
You burned books, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Only the banned ones.
Shame on you.
The paper had already been wasted. So, yeah, anyway.
So maybe somebody thought it was like a giveaway case of whiskey.
Over in the corner.
Sure.
Hidden from sight.
We didn't really have a table. Well, we did have a table for stuff like that. It was in the kitchen.
Yep.
No, it was. I had it in that station. The way that the studio was set up, I had like an area with like stuff. We had a bit of a nutty show at the time. I mean, you had to do there was like a lot of things going on all the time. People coming in and out, listeners coming in and out. That you needed a little area. But anyway, I digress. Well, I hope everyone had a wonderful week. John was in suburban Philadelphia. How'd that go?
About as you would expect.
Yeah. It was no fun, was
it was that wasn't the only place I went.
No,
Fred.
you went to New York City, but that's not of any interest to me because you can probably enjoy yourself there.
Not really.
No. No, you didn't enjoy yourself.
Well, we had certain events planned for the 3 days that we were there. Like, for instance, Sunday, we were going to go to Yankee Stadium. Kids had never been. I was going to go. We woke up. It was 48 degrees and raining. And I said, probably not a good idea to take the train out to Yankee Stadium. Okay, now we have to think of something to do. Let's walk around, Midtown Manhattan, Times Square, whatever. Which is fine, except that it was 48 degrees and raining and very, very uncomfortable to walk around. Even if you had umbrellas, which we did, it didn't matter. It was very windy. We all got wet. And we got in a cab and went back to my father's place. Not a lot of fun. And then we get to Pennsylvania, Collegeville, Pennsylvania, which is not anywhere near Philadelphia. It's about 20 miles west of there. And we were going to go to remember I was telling you, we were going to go to Game 3, Celtics in Philadelphia. Well, after Game 1, we looked at the prices, and it was dirt cheap. Didn't buy the tickets there. Didn't buy the tickets at that time. I waited. Philadelphia won Game 2. Tickets in the upper bowl were $167 in the corner. Tickets down low were $277 in the corner. Didn't wind up going to the Philadelphia 76ers. So, again, have to figure out something else to do. And then we got in the car and drove home on Saturday. I know, Hardy, you got back late Saturday night. I assumed you got back,
Yes,
back late.
on an airplane.
I got
Yeah.
back
On an
Friday.
airplane. Yeah, from someplace warm. Well, we got in the car to drive from Pennsylvania to Boston. And on normal circumstances, it's about a 5 hour and 15-minute drive. We got to about 30 miles south of Philadelphia, 30 miles south of New York, and it started raining. And not only did it rain, the skies opened up, and it was a downpour for about 4 hours. 4 hours through rain, and of course, that means the roads aren't clear. That means that there's a lot of traffic on those roads. So it lasted 6 hours and 15 minutes with 2 stops because my son decided, both of them decided they had to go to the bathroom, once on the Merritt and once in New Jersey. So it took quite some time. And the next morning, everyone's like, let's go do this, let's go do that. I finally got a good night of sleep Saturday night into Sunday, and I'm happy to tell you I am very happy to be back at work today. Wow. Now, and I assume you folks had a great time. Hardy kind of bullet pointed his vacation. You were in Atlantis, is that right?
No, I was in Baja Mar.
Okay.
With everyone else from Boston.
Okay.
How are we supposed to know that you're not wearing a hoodie that says Baja Mar?
That's right. I mean, hell, Beaton still wears his Atlantis
sweatshirt. But Beaton, he's a man of the world. He's a citizen of the universe. I went to Baja Mar. It was all people from Boston. Yeah. At a certain point, Zoe had started counting how many people came up to us because it was all people from. I guess Patrice Bergeron was there, and everyone saw him but me. I didn't see Patrice Bergeron. Apparently, he was like on the back of a JetBlue flight with his family, but he was staying at Baja Mar because everyone that came up to me, and Zoe counted, it was 17 people came up.
Yeah, it's the week, man. We did years ago went to Aruba during this week.
Oh.
And I saw more Red Sox hats in Aruba than I would have seen had I stayed in Canton.
I could have told you that. That's the migration. Everyone goes to Aruba last week. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't compare it to anything else. It was more people came up to me on this vacation than would come up to me at a Bruins game.
Yeah.
It was because Zoe started counting, and they'd be like, "Hey, Zoe," like it was. Everyone was very nice, but it was. And I'm not saying that because to say that, like, in any way I'm some sort of celebrity. I'm just saying to tell you how many people are from Boston. I saw one of my son's friends, family. We didn't know they were going to be there. Then I saw one. Then we went to Atlantis for the day to swim with those dolphins. Dolphins. And when we were there, we saw one of the girls that I coached in basketball and her family. Like, it was all people from Boston.
So
they thought we were stealing their chairs.
I don't know if it's like this, like further mythologizing, romanticizing about the Boston area, but the place we were staying, and I didn't even notice it. We were walking around. There's 1,000 of them in Florida. A community with a golf course in it, and they're all gated, which would make you think they're super, super nice on the inside. No, it's just really a way of. Once you're in there, you can use everything. If you make it past the gates, you're either a resident or you got to pass, right? Mm-hmm. So all it is a bunch of condos, some single families, golf course, tennis courts, pickleball, pool, and a clubhouse, all right? There's a million of them.
They had a pickleball court.
Yeah, they did. The one we're staying in, every street was named after a place in Massachusetts. So we were staying on Dennis Circle.
Okay.
The streets as you're walking down, there's Marblehead Street, there's Hyannis Street, there's Dorchester Street. All these streets in Naples are named after places in Florida. Huh. We're going to the night, was it Friday night where both the Celtics and the Bruins were on at the same time?
Mm-hmm. I think that's right.
Where should we go watch the game? Someone said, "Oh, go to Foxborough's." I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, go to Foxborough's. It's like 2 miles from here." And you walk in, and it was an obnoxious amount of like Boston stuff on the wall for a Boston sports bar. That's all it was. Yeah. It was a huge restaurant and bar called Foxborough's. I'm like, it's like we never left. Neat.
Right. I could take off my left shoe for you because over the course of the break,
What?
I injured my left foot 4 times, including one time we were walking on this dock, which apparently they said don't walk barefoot, but I didn't see the sign. And I felt something very painful. And I went to the side of the dock and I saw that there was a huge stick sticking into the bottom of my foot. I pulled the stick out and blood spurted for literally a foot.
Oh.
It just went like so much urine in a German porn film. It went a foot. So I'm like a little concerned. So we start walking off the dock and 2 people come up to us and they said, "Hey, will you take our picture?" And my daughter goes, "Sure." And I went, "Zoe, what the hell?" And then these people are like looking at me incredulously like I did something, and I stick up my foot and there's blood like literally pouring from it. And I'm like, "Here, look, you sons of bitches,
You know what you did?
you wait with your picture taken."
You blew out your flip-flop, stepped on a pop top. You cut up your heel, had to cruise on back home.
But I think my daughter wanted to leave because like the next morning my foot was like not from that but from all the other stuff was like pretty swollen, like the top of it, and she's like, "We're still going to be able to go home tomorrow, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh boy. It's not good.
I mean we were in a room together and for Sunday through Friday. I mean, I think she was probably ready to go.
Yeah.
I think that was the day she was ready to go. Because she was saying it for a certain point. She's like, "Oh, it's so nice. I don't want to leave." And then at a certain point, I think everyone was like, maybe it's time to go home. It's enough already. All right. Well, you had 2 big games last night and then a firing and everything else and a draft. We will get to all of that today, including expert guests and things of that nature. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports. like these.
To climb up a tree.
You know.
We're the best friends you can be, my buddy and me.
Now,
Me.
more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy, on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Both winter sports franchises played playoff games yesterday. Where would you like to start, Hardy?
Normally we'd like to start with what happened most recently, but I think it's more interesting and probably more important that we talk about the game that happened yesterday afternoon as the Bruins were hosting the Buffalo Sabres. Nice little 2 p.m. puck drop, and about 4 minutes into the game, the puck went somewhere else.
Minton under pressure, turned over. Here's a chance for Krebs and scores. And Buffalo strikes first just over 4 minutes in. Peyton Krebs points in all 4 games of this series, makes it 1-0.
Now, once again, just the very beginning of that call, how did it happen?
Brings it to the top of the face.
Oh, excuse me. Here, yeah, go ahead.
Minton under pressure, turned over. Here's a chance for
Yeah.
It's bad if it happens just once.
Pay attention to that.
Yeah.
So a turnover in the Bruins' own end leads to a goal. Great. At the 4:17 mark of the first, Buffalo goes on top. Less than 3 minutes later.
Brings it to the top of the face-off circle. Goes down low to Doan, who sent one right through the top of the crease. Hampus Lindholm, chance to clear up the middle and couldn't. Power play comes to an end, and as it does, they score. Doan redirects the pass from McLeod out of the far corner, and Buffalo's got a 2-0 lead, 12:50 to go in the first.
So the first goal happens as a result of a turnover. The second goal happens as a result of not being able to clear the puck. This would happen time and time again yesterday. The inability for the Bruins to clear the puck out of the zone. I've been watching it. I've seen it. It's not like it's a new problem for them. I can't wrap my head around it.
It wasn't just that. It was the turnovers. Look, that one, you try to clear the puck up the middle, you don't get it out of the zone. It's dumb, but not as egregiously bad as Minton just giving the puck to someone else. That was really bad.
Yeah.
But again, that wasn't an isolated incident.
No.
So I was listening to the very beginning of the game when it was 1-0. Very early. Mm-hmm. And Bob Beers, who will have on today, was saying, and play was going on while he was doing this, about how terrible they looked and how lucky they were only to be down by a goal. And I went, wait a second. By the way, I was offered by I'll tell you off the air, by a very powerful person to go to the game yesterday, but I could not.
Huh.
Keep that in your pipe.
All right.
You save that, I'll tell you in the break. Almost odd. And so anyway, I'm glad I didn't go. But the
Al Cole?
No, well, Al Cole was performing outside.
Okay.
But he was just like,
Al Cole is here.
Thank you, Al. He was saying he was just like, they look horrible. He's like, they look terrible. In plays going on while he's saying this, it was really odd, and he was taking his time. And then I got in the house, and I put the game on, and I sat down, and then it was 2-0, and I thought, and I saw these horrible. I mean, they kept turning the puck. I don't. They probably have, but if that wasn't the worst they've played, it's got to be tied.
So I've been watching Bruins playoff hockey for a long time.
I'm talking about this season.
Well, no. Let's put it into better perspective. I've been watching Bruins playoff hockey for a long time. That first period might have been the worst playoff period I've ever seen from them. And that's saying something. They played a lot of playoff games. I'm trying to think of a worse period in a playoff game. I can't come up with one. That first period last night was a nightmare on so many different levels. It's only 2-0 now. And then we have the too many men on the ice penalty.
Yes,
where Charlie McAvoy is the reverse Marchand. He breaks toward the bench and then breaks off. Someone thought he was going to step off, didn't, and it was an obvious too many men on the ice.
That's when I was listening, and he was like, McAvoy's going to get pinged for interference. And because they were like, he laid someone out, apparently. You were watching it, but I guess he laid someone out away from the play. And he was like, oh, God, what a stupid penalty. And then he's like, oh, it's too many men on the ice. He's like, they're really bad. He was basically just like, they're terrible.
No, I think that McAvoy hit ended up being fine. You know,
it was,
by
but
the,
it was
by the
fine.
rule.
But
Yeah,
he had said, he had thought that McAvoy. I wasn't watching. I was listening to it.
Okay.
So he said he thought the McAvoy hit was interference, and that was the penalty they called. But then when he found it was too many men on the ice, he got even more pissed off.
Yeah. It was obvious. It was blatant. You didn't see the television replay. You know, Andrew Raycroft, I was watching a local call to game. Andrew Raycroft's like, oh, yeah, that's an easy call. There were 6 guys skating around out there.
That game was on Nesson?
Yes.
Oh.
It was on Nesson, and
it's unlike the NBA. The NHL does have the local broadcast.
Yeah, it was on TBS or something. Yes,
Yeah.
I watched it on. I didn't even know it was on Nesson.
Yeah,
Okay.
Raycroft's like, oh, yeah, that's obvious. Can't get away with that.
Right, and so it was like because it could have been even way worse than 2-0 at that point.
Yeah.
Apparently. And
Swayman had to make a couple of really good saves.
Oh, I saw that.
And by the way, there was no action at the other end. Alex Lyons standing there waiting for something to come close to him.
Well, I believe they had 2 shots on goal for the majority of that period.
Yes.
No, it could have been worse, and it did get worse.
Jordan Harris coming toward the near side circle. Runs into trouble against Doan, and now Benson takes away. Benson left circle, steps in front, and they score. Another turnover in the defensive zone and another goal for the Sabres. It's 3-0, less than halfway through the first.
That was after the too many men on the ice penalty, but Jordan Harris, who shouldn't be playing, the only reason he's playing is because Mason Lowry is worse. So Jordan Harris tries to bring the puck up the ice. Everyone abandoned him. He was by himself. He had no one to pass the puck to, no support at all.
Coast to coast, baby.
So they ganged up on him, took the puck away from him, skated it and scored. Jordan Harris, not his fault that time. But it's just, they played like it was the first time they had all played together, and it was an exhibition game in October.
Yeah, it was, I never played hockey, but and I only watch it for the vast majority at a NHL level. And that's about it.
You never play deck hockey with Rucker?
Dude, you don't want to get involved in this. You'll probably lose some teeth.
You got to have the right sneakers.
It's hockey for people that don't want to learn how to skate. It's pretty big.
We all go up to Saugus, hang out next to Route 1.
You got to drive a really long way. Don't worry about it. It's huge.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
All it is just dudes with sticks running around. It's really nothing to it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Head was on a swivel.
Yeah, that tennis ball catches you in the thigh. It stings.
Dude. It's like basketball without hoops.
He was a married man with children playing deck hockey.
Quite remarkable.
No one's helping you out. You're on your own, dude.
That's right.
At least softball, you're still hitting the ball and fielding it and stuff. They take away everything.
You have all the equipment.
Yeah, exactly. The rules, the spirit of the game is the same. It's like hockey without any of the skill or specialty. So, I mean, it looked like it looked like an amateur team. It was just absolutely awful. Swayman was the only player that looked like he knew how to play hockey. They literally didn't look like they didn't know how to play hockey.
It was the worst I've ever seen. I can't get over that.
I mean, we all know by now it was 4-0 before the end of the first period.
And then I'm sure everyone kept their eyes locked in after that. In the middle of the day, that it was really exciting to sit there and.
I did sit through the second.
No, I did too, but I mean, I can't tell you that I was locked in on the thing.
No, I tell you when I began to tap out. It was at this moment.
Keel on the far wall got upended, swatted that puck out toward the blue line, but not out. Greenway throws it in front, and they score. Beck Mallenstein got the tip as that puck goes fluttering up over Swayman just under the bar, and it's 5-0.
But I did learn some things from the game yesterday because you guys watched on Nesson.
Yep.
Oh, you missed it. So the woman that was doing the interviews with the coaches during the game, I learned that her husband is quite a pickleball player and that Ruff plays pickleball with his other coaches, but he couldn't play with her husband. And I, after Doan got nailed by McAvoy and then turned around and scored a goal, I learned that Bruce would be on the guys during the off day because Doan scored on that. It was cringe-inducingly stupid.
That's fun. You should have told me. And they were talking pickleball on the other feed. I would have watched
She goes,
that.
"Hey guys, I guess the Bruins are going to be on the boys after something like that." And the guys went, "Yeah, sure, that's what's going to happen."
So
she was good looking, but then she was married, so you're like, screw off.
Swayman got pulled. He was not happy about
Probably
that.
got kids. What's wrong with you?
He was upset when he left. 6-1 the final. Sean Corrali scored a shorthanded goal there with like 30 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
Did anyone see the shorthanded goal?
No.
I did not.
I mean, I heard it. It was still on, but I was
No, the TV was off, and we were outside.
Yeah, I bowed to your ability to stay in the room. It was asking enough at 2:00 in the afternoon. And then, but then you go, okay, well, it's playoff hockey. This is exciting. It felt a little bit like a football Sunday. You like, I can revolve my day around this. And then so I
know what? I had the exact same feeling. It's like I'm going to get all my stuff done that I need to do. I'm going to sit down and I got, 2.5 hours carved out here of watching this game, and 30 minutes in. It's not even 3:00 yet, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not doing this afternoon.
Yeah, I dropped my daughter off at her friend's house because she didn't want to go. I actually asked her if she wanted to go to the game too, but she didn't want to go. So I dropped her off at her friend's house. I got home, and then it got to be 2-0, 3-0, and I'm like, well, now what the hell am I going to do? Now I'm just alone. Now I got nothing. I mean, now I'm just sitting here like a jackass watching this horribleness. And what, I have to feign interest in this thing? And then I thought, what if I had spent money to go to this game? And then I realized why you boo. Because you get up in the morning and you're like, because I did some activities in the morning where there were people announcing that they were going to the game. Mm-hmm. And they were all excited. And you spend, $600 probably all together for everything. And you get to that game, and then you get 2 minutes of entertainment.
Right. And you end up being one of these fans after the first period.
Causing turnover after turnover by the Boston Bruins.
Last time the Boston Bruins allowed 4 first-period goals in a playoff game, the Hartford Whalers were the ones who scored the 4 goals back in 1991.
Well, that's a long time ago, and that's a team that's not around anymore.
Sabres get goals from Krebs, Doan, Benson, and Byram, and have a 4-0 lead after the opening 20 here in TD Garden.
It's a who's who.
And Bruins were 29-11-1 at home during the regular season. Second best home record in the National Hockey League. They have now lost 5 straight home playoff games in 10 of their last 13.
Well, I take back my prediction that they beat Buffalo. How about that? Take that, Bruins.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back.
It'll all be over tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could win tomorrow night. But I don't know I'm winning the series. All right, so anyway, the Celtics played, and there was a little bit of excitement around because they had lost the game. And Embiid came back unexpectedly, I guess, and then we'll see what happened, because you don't know, you got no access to it. So here we'll tell you. All right, here are the headlines. John, don't say it.
Sports Hub headline. Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub. Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
We are Todger and Hardy, the local NBA franchise the Boston Celtics took to the court yesterday.
They sure did in their series with the Philadelphia 76ers. You mentioned Joel Embiid back playing, making his presence known early.
Still 5-4 Boston.
Both teams
Sixers
right
have
now.
not made a shot yet.
Both teams a little tight.
Philly 0 for 5. Jaylen Brown, live ball turnover. Paul George reps it away. Oubre shovels back to Embiid, two-hand slam. Embiid has all 6 points here for Philadelphia. They lead 6-5.
It was not a good start of the game for the stars of the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, both struggling, but guess who came to the rescue, Fred?
Tatum has only taken one shot here, hasn't scored. Pritchard has a good look. Deep three, right side, got another one.
Uh-oh. He's over there talking to your boy Reggie.
Back-to-back threes by Peyton Pritchard, and the Celtics have a 5-point lead, 18-13.
So he went off last night. He had 32 points. He was 45% from three. I heard an analyst this morning talking about it, and he was like, I don't know where Peyton Pritchard went to college, so he was a big-time analyst.
Oh, yeah. My God. All right.
But he said, I guarantee you he never had a game like that in college, that the NBA has become, there's so much spacing now in the NBA that it's easier to do this in the NBA than it is in college, was his point. Is that like super athletes, I guess, in college can still dominate, but because of the spacing in the NBA, you're able to, guys like Pritchard are able to get off shots that they weren't able to in college, was his take.
Okay. Well, there's also the sticky problem of players not being nearly as good in college.
It's simply there's no question about that, but it's the ability to shoot, get open shots.
Guys aren't picking you up at half court like they are in college and sticking to you.
That the way that the offenses are set up in the pros is it's so spread out that you with proper ball movement you're able to get these shots off. Now you still have to make them.
Well, you still got to make them, and the buzzer beater. We all saw this one coming, and if you're watching the Celtics as a Sixers fan or just someone watching the national feed and you're not used to seeing this. This probably seemed really remarkable, but I think we all saw this one coming.
Pritchard moving to his left. Pritchard dribbles around. Embiid launches off the wrong foot, and he hit it at the buzzer. And with the nation watching, Peyton Pritchard is putting on a Game 4 show. 13 first-quarter points off the bench.
Ooh, and they said that little man could choo-choo. Look at the train go. Ooh.
Yeah, you hear that, Fred? Choo, 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 choo. Look at the train go. Now do you see?
Oh, I saw it. The nation saw it. The nation was watching.
But do you see? Because you refused to see for a long time. The Jacobys, when I visit them, do you see?
I was just whistling by the train tracks. Now, what does choo 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 the train coming mean?
I have no idea what that means.
A train goes chugga chugga woo woo.
No clue.
Or choo choo choo. It's a choo choo train.
Oh, God.
No, that's the whistle.
Is that
tip.
woo woo?
That's
then
a
you got
whistle
the flows.
tip.
You got to tip out the flows.
No, that's a whistle tip. That was on cars.
That's only in the morning.
That was on cars in very impoverished
You're
areas.
supposed to be up cooking breakfast or something by then. It's like an alarm clock.
Yes,
woo,
I understand
woo.
that. I'm talking about woo woo. Whistle tip. If you don't know what we're referring to, there was
it's the best viral. Well, it's one of the first viral videos.
There was a news story in some horrible place about people. Oakland. Some horrible place where the residents were putting whistles on their exhaust pipes.
Yes.
And so they would make high screeching noises when the gas was hit.
Yeah.
The whistles got woo.
Talk about that woo woo.
Bub Rub and Lil Sis.
Who've never been to prison.
No. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown would emerge in the second half.
Tatum against Oubre. Throws that shoulder into him. Backs him down to the mid-block. Step back off the wrong foot. He hits it. Score to the foul. That's how you put the crowd back in their seats.
Man.
Yeah, sit down. Celtics fans that were at the game.
Everyone paid the money, man. There were a lot of Celtic fans.
That's
there.
why the tickets were so expensive.
No
Jonathan.
kidding.
It was not a Philadelphia crowd.
Jeez.
That was a Celtics crowd.
Jaylen Brown had a couple of issues, and just, I don't know if you saw it, John, tiny little issues with the handle.
Yeah.
Kind of reminiscent of a couple of playoffs ago, but he found his game.
Tatum enters to Jaylen Brown. Turnaround jumper from the baseline is good. Scored and the foul. And the Celtics just too good, too smooth, too strong tonight in Game 4.
Ooh, that's your all-star right there. I'm an MVP candidate. Why can't I be MVP?
That's right.
Yeah,
choo-choo.
I watched Joel Embiid last night. And Joel Embiid, if you look, he had good numbers. He had a double-double. I think 26 and 10, 5 assists. Philadelphia needs to get rid of him as soon as possible. Because you look at the other players. Like, for instance, Tyrese Maxey, when he gets hot, he cannot be stopped. He is a walking offense. And VJ Edgecombe is the same way.
Edgecombe is
he's the same
equally
way.
Scary.
If you have Joel Embiid on the floor, he demands the ball so much that neither of those two guys have any chance of getting into any flow. You saw a couple of Tyrese Maxey baskets. You're like, okay, I know that guy. You can't let that guy get hot. He never had the opportunity to because Embiid constantly needs the basketball on one side of the floor. And you see him spotting up for three from the top. He's waiting to get the ball, and everyone else on the floor makes a concerted effort to get it to him. He is an all-star player. He's a Hall of Fame player, whatever. He's a league MVP. Philadelphia would be so much better without him.
You see him get the ball like in the paint too, like just below the free throw line, and it's a perfect opportunity to kick it out to somebody for an open three. But instead, he'll do that little half-hearted move and kind of that little push shot toward the rim, and sometimes they go on, but sometimes they don't, and it's just
he will get his numbers.
Not great.
He will get his numbers. And by the way, he flops more than Marcus Smart ever did when he was around here. But Embiid is the biggest guy I've seen wind up on the floor in NBA history. That guy knows how to draw fouls. He's really good at it. But he'll get lightly brushed and fall flat on his face like he's lost a couple of teeth.
I tell you,
that guy is something.
They swallowed the whistles for big chunks of that game last night. They
rough. wanted to see the game over.
Yeah,
it was time to end
when
it.
you win by 22 points.
But Tatum got mugged by Embiid underneath the basket.
Of course he did, but the Celtics were up 30, and the refs are like, all right, it's time to go home. It's time. This game's over. It's time to finish.
And the Celtics have never lost a series, being up 3-1. I think they are 31-0.
That was the stat on television last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they are up 3-1 now against the Sixers.
Game 5 tomorrow night, TD Garden.
I like their chances. Call me crazy. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. The Red Sox have fired Alex Cora. They fixed all their problems, and they fired Alex Cora. So there was a press conference in Baltimore. I believe it was in Baltimore.
Yes, they flew to Baltimore for it.
And we will have the highlights from that press conference coming up in just a moment.
Look at the train go.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Sports Hub, a Beast 80 group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics got 32 points from Peyton Pritchard on their way to a 128-96 playoff win in Philadelphia last night. Jason Tatum added 30 points to go with 7 rebounds and 11 assists.
You know, just his ability to create his own shot and how well, obviously, he can shoot the ball. It's a luxury to have a guy like that, you know, that can score with the best of them, you know, coming off the bench on your team.
The Green now lead this best-of-7 first-round playoff series 3-1. They have the home floor for Game 5 tomorrow night. Last night, Houston avoided being swept. They beat the Lakers 115-96. San Antonio down 19 points late in the second quarter, and they won by 21 in Portland, 114-93. They lead 3-1. Toronto and Cleveland even at 2 games apiece. The Raptors won 93-89. As for the Bruins, an epic disaster yesterday at TD Garden. They got blown out in their own building 6-1 by Buffalo. Bruins were never in this game after the first 4 minutes. They trail this playoff series 3-1. They have now lost 5 straight home playoff games. They're in Buffalo for Game 5 tomorrow night. At the NHL playoffs, Colorado swept LA 5-1. Tampa Bay won in Montreal 3-2. That series even at 2 games apiece. And Anaheim knocked off Edmonton in overtime 4-3. The Ducks lead 3-1. And Wilson Contreras hit a 2-run homer. Red Sox won their first game after firing Alex Cora yesterday 5-3 in Baltimore. They're in Toronto tonight with Ranger Suarez making the start. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Chevalier Theater. Bobby Lee is coming to the Chevalier on May 3rd. Grab tickets at chevaliertheater.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Diving, but he's got a breakaway. To the backhand, throws it in front, coming to the spot.
The Sports Hub. Touch your shot. Touch your
Kaboom! Did we all just take acid? Take acid? That's unbelievable.
Touch your heart. What's he talking about?
Like you, Fred. I'm not worried.
The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Dan Roach is pissed. He's got a Instagram post of how he's really good friends with, I can read it to you, how he's really good friends with Alex Cora, and he's got a bunch of pictures of them together, and in one of them, it's a selfie that Dan took, and they're both, and Dan's going like this. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see here's Dan taking a picture. And he says, was a pleasure and an honor to cover Alex Cora. First met him in 2005 when he played for the Red Sox. His passion for the game, his family, and people always shine through. One of the best managers I've ever been around. Right there with Tito. Been through a lot together. A good friend. Can't wait for his next adventure, which will be something else. And, of course, he was fired. And the gang got together, and they decided to talk about it. There was a big press conference in Baltimore. And it was attended by many, and here is what happened. That's right. We have clips.
Oh, you want me to play the clip? I'm sorry.
I do not have clips.
Oh, all right.
No, I do not have them. He was fired. 6 coaches were fired, including Jason Varitek, who people have wanted to manage this team since before he even played. So that's not going to happen. And Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow, they sat down and they talked to the people. Okay.
They sure did.
I have some if you would like.
Thank
All right,
we're all aware we were doing this, correct?
let's try this.
Yesterday was
I didn't know I was playing the
painful.
clip.
All right, here we go.
Yesterday was definitely painful, but we felt it was a necessary move, and we felt it necessary to take decisive action to achieve the goal of a fresh start for the 2026.
Now, the question is, whose decision was this? Well, Sam Kennedy said, Craig Breslow.
Yeah, look, Craig leads our baseball operation, and he's made several bold decisions and recommendations.
Yeah, all that failed.
And this was one of them, and we fully support it, and that's why we took the action we took yesterday.
Okay, can I ask a question? Why are you firing him in April when you could have fired him in October?
Because you had no idea this roster would get off to such a poor start.
Okay, so if it's a development issue, he hasn't had these guys for very long. I mean, you can't blame him for Sonny Gray getting hurt, which is, even that's a minor thing. You can't blame him for any of those pitching struggles. You can't blame him from Roman Anthony not hitting. You can't blame him for Meyer not hitting. I mean, these are development issues. Like I don't know. And if you knew he wasn't a good manager, or you thought it was spring training, why in April? How often do managers get fired in April?
Well, so quickly, just to be fair, because I remember us having this conversation like weeks ago. I don't remember where you fell on it, Fred, but when you're watching like so many defensive miscues and errors. And I said, okay, I know it's not the manager's job to teach these guys how to play baseball. There should be requisite skills already there by the time they make it up to this point. However, you got to get everybody on the same page. I would say, though, for the most part, outside of managing the staff and coming up with the lineup every day, the manager's job is pretty much done. As long as he's managing egos and keeping everybody in check, that's kind of the job. The fact that they don't have good players is hardly Alex Cora's fault.
Yeah, the roster is inherently flawed. I think we all agree. We all understand that they have not done a good job at assembling talent that fits together, but I watch the mental mistakes that are still there. Like, I don't know what the circumstances were. I only saw a highlight in passing, but I saw Marcelo Meyer get picked off at second base. And these things keep happening. The defense is not getting any better. And you want to talk about development, Marcelo Meyer's not taking any steps forward from where he was last year. I think this is more a panic move because you see the young players not moving forward.
Okay, but then you take the Worcester coach and you put him in, and he was the one that was developing these kids, and they can't succeed at a major league level. You've rushed everything, but this all comes down to trading Devers.
Sure.
That's basically what it comes down to, is that you traded Devers. Breslow was your 17th, 8th choice.
Yep.
For GM. He's incapable of doing it. He can't work within the parameters that you've set. He's a failure. And again, fine, they're making mistakes. You fire Alex Cora, you suck. Someone's got to get paid with their job. The question is the timing of it. Why, if you're so on the ball and you have all your ducks in a row and they talk so analytically about everything, even non-numbers, like about like management structuring and stuff. It's like they're automatons.
Wait a minute, you're telling me Craig Breslow is a robot?
In terms of what was under consideration, again, when the performance on the field, is not what you expect, you have to put all options on the table. But we decided, kind of broader change and new voices and new direction was appropriate here.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's a normal human response.
We need a new direction and a change, because you can't fire all these players, especially when I'm the one who went out and got them. And I am in lockstep with the owners because I'm spending the amount of money they're giving me to spend and doing what I'm told. So I'm not going to fire myself. So fire the manager.
We're going to take two kids in their early 20s. We're going to dump the organization on them, and when they don't hit it the first month of the season, we're going to panic and fire the manager.
Yes. That's absolutely correct.
Which is fantastic for their development, too, because you want to do is you want to take Roman Anthony and you want to make him the face of the organization, because always players come up, good players always come up and immediately succeed. It's just so ridiculous.
It happens all the time.
Let me look at how many at-bats Roman Anthony has this season where we're going to make this decision. He's got 83 at-bats. So in 83 at-bats, now the whole organization is on the kid, and then he's got to figure things out in 83 at-bats. It's nuts. There's no one there to pick up the slack. You picked up Wilson Contreras. You're hitting him in the middle of your lineup. Contreras is a professional hitter, but he's a above average professional hitter. He's not a middle of the order bat on a good team. You picked up Caleb Durbin, who is a journeyman. Your team outside of these kids, Trevor Story's essentially a journeyman at this point who can't field
or hit
or hit, but certainly can't field. That's not going to change. And so you've dumped this organization on these two kids.
Here's the problem,
and they're
Fred.
way too young, and there's way too little experience, and now it's all blowing up.
Here's the problem, Fred, and I don't know where I read this and it last week, and it's a good point. Unlike last season, there's no Roman Anthony call-up that's going to give your team a shot in the ass later in the season. There's no injured star that is coming to save you later in the season. What you have here is a roster that is fully formed. And because it's fully formed and you start the way you did, even though it's baseball and it's a long season, the Red Sox are farther out of first place than any team except for, I think, the Mets and the Phillies at this point. So they panicked. Alex Cora is a good manager. He's a very good manager, but he paid for the sins of his bosses who are incompetent.
But you should have fired him then after last season or before spring training. Or in spring training. I mean, you had to
only if you believe the narrative and what they're saying, and none of that is to be believed. Yes, that all makes sense, and that's when you fire him if he is the issue and this is the problem.
So you have a less than a month sample size of the season and how these kids are playing, and you're going to put it all on Cora when you could have just put it on him last year, and. You've already Kristen Campbell's not even in the majors.
Well, that's
and then you're going to ruin Meyer and Anthony.
They've ruined Christian Campbell too, and that may be something you can actually put on Cora. You remember how he was slumping at the beginning of last season, and Cora was hitting him fourth, and they were moving him around from second to left to center. This kid's just trying to get his feet wet. And he spun into a ditch offensively.
You can blame that on Cora.
Haven't seen him since.
But he was handed three kids.
Sure.
And he was saying play them, and they have too many outfielders, and they have a guy playing shortstop. So Meyer's whole deal was that he was supposed to be your shortstop of the future, and they don't even put him at shortstop. I mean, what's Cora's supposed? Look, fine, fire Cora all you want. I just don't understand why you make a managerial change. In April.
Okay, so
you had all year to make a managerial change.
It's unprecedented with the Red Sox too.
Would you put any of this on the fact that it comes on the heels of being swept by the Yankees, and how embarrassing and galling that was to ownership?
I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah, I mean the timing of sure. I mean you would think that
and it's not that knee jerk. It's not A causing B, but. If you're ever going to make an emotional decision that doesn't have a lot of basis in logic, it's going to come after a series like that.
Sure, I guess. But that goes against the whole analytical, scientific,
of course,
not being emotional perspective. So it all counters each other. Like if you're going to play the game that everything is so locked down and you are working at such a scientific level of understanding of baseball, and then you fire your manager in April. Well, if you're so great at this, why didn't you see this coming? And you can't tell how a team's going to play. Well, you're supposed to. Then give them through April. Like if you are firing them based on Roman Anthony's having 83 at bats, what did you learn in these 83 at bats that you didn't know before? It's asinine. They traded Devers, and that was what everything is. They traded Devers. But Adam, you're making many gestures.
I was trying to get in on the conversation, but I got George in here, and I don't want him bleeding over into the microphone. I just wanted to build off of your point. I wanted to build off.
What does George think?
I wanted to build off of your point and John's point, right? You got to factor into this when you're talking about how they're handling these young players. The entire team found out about this firing on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening on social media with the rest of us. there was no communication. Again, this continues a trend. There was no communication to the players on the team of what was happening. And then when there was a meeting called the next day, John, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't allow the players to ask any questions or give any feedback.
It was 2 minutes from Breslow. This is what's happened. Don't worry about it. And then it was 3 minutes from Chad Tracy, and that was it.
So not only is it put the entire team on the shoulders of this 21-year-old Roman Anthony, but also don't ask us any questions, kid. We don't want any feedback from you. We don't want any dialogue. We just want you to get out there and play.
The worst part about all of this, and I think it was written by June Lee, who we've had on the program before. June Lee, through his sources, wrote an article online last night that called the atmosphere in the front office toxic positivity. And what he meant by that was no one in the front office is willing to acknowledge or look at the problems that this organization has in developing talent and roster construction. They are just relentlessly positive that things will be fine. It's kind of like Kevin Bacon at the end of Animal House. All is well, when it really isn't. And they refuse to look at the negative, and they think that's a good thing.
Well,
you got rid of all your professional hitters of any elite status, and then Crochet has struggled at the beginning of the season. I don't know what you're supposed to do about that. Gray's got a minor leg injury. I don't know what you're supposed to do about that. I mean, he'll be fine. You know, Suarez started pitching. I don't understand this. You don't have anyone to fall back on. They talked to Sparky Anderson when he was the manager of Cincinnati. And they said, how do you handle the team? And he said, I bring in Bench, Rose, and Morgan. And I'll ask them before everything. He goes, why? And he goes, because over the course of a season, your stars win you games. That's who wins you games. Over large chunks of time, your stars are the ones who perform. So when a team is struggling, you can't ask a 21-year-old kid with 83 at-bats to carry your team. You ask Devers. Because even if Devers starts a season out cold, he's going to end up finishing with 30 home runs. That's a star, and they don't have that anywhere, nowhere. Again, professional hitter. Contreras is a professional hitter. He's an above-average hitter, but he's not a star. He's not someone that you look back 2 months in and you go, oh, wow. I didn't know he was doing that. You know how there's guys that you go, like, there's guys that, hit 50 home runs, but there are guys that you'll go, how's he doing? And you'll look 2 months in and you'll go, whoa, all right. Because eventually they're getting there.
I can see Anthony being capable of that.
Sure.
But you're right. And by the way, one thing Chad Tracy, the interim manager, did that I like a lot is batting Anthony third. I like that a lot. I think that he could do much more damage from there once he gets going. He is the only guy on that roster that's capable of getting on a hot streak and carrying a team for 2 weeks, 3 weeks a month.
But you're asking him to do it, and if he can't do it, then you're screwed.
Of course. Yes.
So, but that's the thing, is that an Ortiz, a Devers, these kind of guys, they're always there. They can take, that's why they're stars, because they can take that kind of responsibility and perform. Can't ask a 21-year-old, and because you're going to screw them up. Again, Anthony's got to face the media. Anthony's got to be the guy in the clubhouse that talks to everyone, and he's playing like crap. But what do you want out of him? He's 83 at bats in the major leagues this season,
and he's currently going through things that young players go through, like for instance the yips in left field. They're DHing him because he can't play the field.
Right, because you put him in a position that was untenable. And again, and let's see, Myers got 67 at bat. I mean, come on. These guys get to hit thousands and thousands of times in their major league career. You get 67 at bats. You're making these knee-jerk
situation
reactions.
Like this. The right thing to do is to leave both of them alone, play them every day without this much pressure, and they will develop. Unfortunately, the timeline has been moved up.
I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're waiting for these kids to hit 330, if they're going to, it could take 4 years, because that is what happens. That's why look at Baltimore. Or it could not happen at all. Look at the team you just played, and that collection of youth that was supposed to put them on a World Series. How many of those kids have panned out? I mean, how many of those kids are superstars right now? Be careful. How many of the Holiday boys are big stars right now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's relax a little bit. I don't want to talk about the team I root for, but they've been trying kids out there for 4 years, and some of them are starting to hit. Took them 4 years. 4 years. But then you got to do this, generally, you got to tear it all down, or you got to have stars around them. There's two ways of doing it. You establish stars that can kind of carry the team while these kids develop, or you tear it all down and you put these kids in and you said, do whatever you got to do. You got 3 years. Because it's too hard and too small a sample size. It's ridiculous. You want some kid to get into the major leagues at a AAA and all of a sudden and when they have a book on you, figure everything out. They know exactly where to put it, where you can't hit. They know exactly. They've analyzed your swing to the nth degree. You want to talk about analytics, they figure out everything that you don't like. And then they got guys in there that not only can throw 98 miles an hour, they can put the ball exactly where you can't hit it. And then you got to figure that out. And that takes time. It's extremely complicated, but extremely simple. They are putting the ball in places you don't want it. Forever you've been able to maintain, because no one could do that. Then you get to the majors, and now you have to adjust and learn how to do all the things you were bad at. So you're a tremendous athlete. You're able to do all these things. Well, here's how we know we have the best. They can do it, so you can't do that. And then you go, oh, well, that's the hole in my swing that now I got to figure. I used to pull everything. Well, now I got to hit everything. Now we're going to pitch you outside all the time. I got to be able to hit the other way, but it's not enough to hit it the other way. I got to hit the other way with power. I mean, get out of here. Ugh. And then you get a guy who should be able to field who gets the yips because he's got 1,000 things through his head. Because he's got to figure everything out because they're exploiting all his weaknesses, which takes time to learn. Anyway, and I don't know what you want Cora to do about it. You should have fired him in the winter then. If you want him to teach Meyer how to hit it at the major league level, God bless you. I don't know what the hell he's supposed to do. It can take him 3 years. Who knows? But you're not going to win. Unless you have Devers. I'm repeating myself. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
And now your game planner is gone, too, on top of all that.
I know.
You lose
everybody's
Veritek.
hero.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, I know. And he's married to Brady's sister, so he's got real roots in this town. All right, so we'll be back in just... And Ernie Bach Jr. is hanging around, too. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
know. I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
In the Seinfeld episode where she cannot figure out his race.
Interesting. I hadn't put that together.
Oh.
I think that's a pretty good call, though.
How about it's an exact call?
That's pretty good.
We had a brief discussion about this the week before we left
Mike,
for vacation.
has anyone ever brought that up to you?
Fred, Hardy, John, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we got to put the pictures side by side.
Yeah, and you got Elaine, who was not a bad little lady right there, so that's got to make you feel good.
Fred, what made you bring that up today, of all days? Like, where did that come from?
Well, we're talking to you, A, and then B, I watch Seinfeld. It's on Sundays now on Comedy Central, which is extraordinarily exciting news. And I was watching the episode, and I remember having thought about it before, but then I made a mental note of it, and I'm like, that's Mike Reiss. That looks exactly like Mike Reiss. I mean, exactly. There's just some times where it hits, baby. I mean, there's billions of people. Sometimes people are going to look the same. I don't know where that actor went to. In fact, if you told me it was you, I would be like, oh.
You were on Seinfeld.
You were on
That's cool.
Seinfeld for an episode. Very good.
Fred, it wasn't me, but when some people have shared it on social media, I've had some fun with it. So good pull by you.
Oh, well, other people have done it?
Yes.
Oh, I don't like that.
That's unfortunate.
I don't like. Well, here I was thinking I was all original. All right, what's going on in that building with Vrabel and everything? Breer was in here last week. We weren't here, but it went viral a little bit. So thank you to the people that were on the show. That things are different in the building right now. He wasn't there for day 3 of the draft. What's your take on that whole thing?
Well, so let's start with this, Fred. I think the hope was that he was going to be back there today. I don't know if that has been the case. And obviously things are different because he's working through a pretty significant situation. And I think for me, Fred, I would just say, I want to go back to the history. Obviously, I met Mike for the first time in 2001. When he was a player here. So that's 25 years of I guess history. And I just want to say, what I know about him is he cares a lot about being good at what he does. Obviously, he loves being the coach of the team and he loves his family. And so he's got these two things and he's working through, due to his own decision-making, some challenging situation. And I think that's what's different is normally he'd be all in this bucket for the draft and what they're doing, building the team, and he's not. And so he's trying to strike the balance to make it right.
How big a deal is it that he wasn't there for day 3 of the draft?
Well, I think if you got 32 teams, I think 31 other teams probably had their head coach in the draft room on day 3. So I can't minimize the fact that he wasn't there. At the same time, I think that's why you have your personnel staff and your support staff to pull you through. So I can't sit here and tell you, Fred, that it's not a big deal. At the same time, I think this draft, on this particular draft, I'd say most teams will tell you day 3, a lot of these guys aren't going to make the teams that they were drafted on from the mid 5th round to the late 7th round. So that gives you a little extra context.
Okay, why did he have to miss Sunday or Saturday in particular? Why that day?
So I don't know the answer to that. I think I'll just go back to what he said, Fred, which was that his family needed him. And in this situation, maybe they were going somewhere. I think they were going somewhere together as a family that maybe meant, I don't know this, but meant that the place had maybe some meaning to them, and that would maybe describe it.
We're gonna talk more about this later, Mike, so we can talk to you about some of these draft picks. But the
fascinating draft.
Maybe one or two, but the whole Saturday, missing the Saturday thing and having to be there, it felt performative to me.
Yeah.
Really. It can only happen on this day, and we're going to make a big show of like this is the sacrifice that I'm making.
Well, I can tell you why it happened is because it was I bet you anything it was negotiation with his wife, and I know you can't speculate on this because you're a real reporter, Mike, but I will take the reins here. Is that you know how like if you get like say like a flower company came to the station and they dropped off like a bunch of flowers at Valentine's Day. And you took back, say it's $10,000 worth of flowers, and you load up a truck and you bring them home and you give them to your wife.
Which you would not do because it would require you carrying it out to your car. But go ahead.
Call back. And so you take these $10,000 worth of flowers and you put them in the house, and your wife comes in and she goes, "Oh, my God, I can't believe, I love you so much." And then 5 minutes later, she finds out that they were dropped off at the station by someone. She's going to go, "Oh."
Right.
Yeah.
Like it requires it. Everything that you give to a woman has to require some kind of sacrifice. So I would imagine that it was like, if you want to stay married, we got to work on this, and you got to. And he's like, "Well, we can do it this week," and she's like, "Oh no, we'll do it now." And then he says, "All right, look, I'll get fired if I miss day 1 or day 2 of the draft." Well, you got to make a sacrifice, and he goes, "Well, I'll miss Saturday. I'll miss Saturday, and we'll do this," because it's not like they had a family vacation plan for the Saturday of the draft. That would only be us. So right, we missed the whole week.
Correct.
But anyway, I have to assume that's what happened. But Mike, you can confirm that later. We'll give the ball to you there.
Mike, I just wanted to know what you thought overall of this thing. Looking at what the Patriots did,
let's move on.
Seemed like well, you said you were going to move on.
Well,
you said that
was quite ready, but go ahead.
I said I want to save something from when we talk about.
Okay, so no, it seemed like on the surface of it, Mike, it's a paint by numbers thing. We need X, Y, and Z, so let's draft X, Y, and Z.
So, and John, I want to get to it. I just want to answer the part about performative, and I think. Like, I don't think it was performative. I think in the world we live in, like he could have said nothing, and then you're going to see a video from the draft room, and we're going to all look at it because that's what we do, and we're going to say, "Where's Vrabel?" And then. So you could have, you know what I mean? Let me give you, like, I'm trying to give a different.
No, Mike, I agree with you. It was not performative for the team in any sense. It was a gesture that had to. If anything, it was a gesture that had to be made to prove something to his wife.
Yeah,
and not performative for us, but for a little bit for us, but for the situation, and whether it's for his wife or whatever. Yeah, but it's like no, you can go to counseling whenever. You can go do this at any other time. Why does it have to be on Saturday of the draft? Because that makes a big show of it.
Yes, and also yes, you have to sacrifice something. It's not enough that you gave me the flowers. You have to have gone to Amsterdam and picked them yourself, like that kind of thing. Yeah. You know how broads are.
And I think that's just the last thing, and then I get to John's thing on the draft is I think knowing Mike, it's genuine. I just want to say that, but I understand where you're coming from. I think he's trying to clean up a situation that he created through decision making that I think he said wasn't up to his standard, and just knowing him, I think it's all coming from the right place. I just want that. So that's that.
Yeah, I think that you misconstrued what Hardy meant by performative.
My fault.
I think we're all on the same page. I don't doubt the validity of why he did what he did. I think my hypothesis confirms that he is being sincere in his motives, but also that I don't think performative is probably the right word. It's not the word that I use, but I think we're all on the same page.
I'm sticking by the word.
He had to do something. He had to make a sacrifice to prove to his family that he was serious. And missing a day of the draft is indeed a sacrifice. But you can't miss day 1 or 2 or you're going to lose your job because that's a fireable offense. Yes.
And I think I would just say that if day 1 or 2 came on Saturday and Sunday, I actually do think he would have missed it. But
really,
but anyway, do
you know where he was? You don't have to say, but do you know where he was?
It wasn't in Massachusetts. That's all I know. And so we know the family's based in Tennessee, right? He still has his place down there. So that's all I know.
Okay, so you know some more than I know. So I'm wrong, is what you're saying?
Not at all. But just more sharing my perspective on that, and then if I don't want to like pivot too fast, but on the draft, I just think aggressive is the word I would use. Like they went, if you like drafts where teams say, that's my guy, I'm going to go get him, then you probably like what the Patriots did. They traded up twice in the first and second round. And in doing so, they limited their overall margin for error because they gave up 2 fourth-round picks, which would be players that would normally be on your team. And so I think that's sort of how I would sum up the overall approach of how they went after this draft. And I think that's tied, John, to the day 3 of the draft. I don't think those picks were as valuable to them because maybe the quality of players on day 3 this year wasn't maybe as high as it was in past years in their view.
Well, they got their new quarterback, so that's debatable. But they got a tackle, and that is interesting. And we've been talking about this since the middle of the season. You got a tackle in the building. I understand he has to put weight on. I mean, I obviously didn't watch him play, but I understand from the analysis of it, he has to put weight on. But he's a big kid, and this does raise in the future. You've given yourself a little breathing room. I understand Morgan Moses is old and was very lucky not to get injured last year. But, you know, if you do have your struggles at left tackle, you do have someone in the building, and, you know, it would not be out of the realm of possibility that eventually he could be your left tackle.
I think that's fair, Fred. I think, you know, he was a 7th offensive tackle taken. And so one of the reasons why some others, well, anytime you're at 28, there's going to be some questions, right? Like not questions, but reasons why you were down there instead of up at 10 or whatever, 9 or 10. And so the one thing that scouts that evaluated Caleb Lomu said was his intensity, you know, like, and he's not like a glass eater, you know, so he's got great mobility, great athleticism. They'd like to see like a little more of that other stuff on a more consistent basis, but that's like nitpicking, right? And so he can be your future right tackle for Morgan Moses, who's 35 entering his 13th year. And like you said, if Will Campbell's development goes off track, you have a potential option to swing over to that side. And I think anything, my view, and we talked about this leading into the draft, anything to build more infrastructure around Drake May is a worthy investment.
All right, there you go. Mike Reiss, thank you so much. ESPN, they're all over the draft. Read him. He's got breakdowns and everything else. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, guys. Always great being with you.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Mike.
you. There you go. Well, Mike Vrabel was in Tennessee on Saturday. Maybe checking out the Grand Ole Opry. Well, we'll see who's playing. We'll do some research.
There's so much good food down there, and just,
it really is.
You really lose yourself. Maybe Tellico Village.
That's in East Tennessee. That would be a long drive, 3-hour drive. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub.
YYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Never cross a line if you only snort it. If you can't work it, then what's your purpose? On that surface, looks like a circus. All these clowns around pull the curtain. She looks like she won't meet for certain. All that lurking won't get a burden. Searching for something you cannot hide. Looked in the wrong place, but should search aside.
Do you split tens if the dealer's showing like a 6?
Depends who else is at the table. Depends on how I'm doing.
I forgot if you're supposed to do that.
I don't think so.
You're not supposed to split tens?
I don't think so. You guys
But I've done it.
Yeah.
Even if they're showing a 6?
Well, again, I don't play video blackjack. I mean, I have.
I only do
But
it
I would.
because
I
of
would.
my daughter.
Oh, I would do it if I were playing on a video machine and wasn't a ton of money. I'd be doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, you're not supposed to split tens.
You're not supposed to. Here's the other thing. The old adage is aces and eights. You know, you're always supposed to split aces and eights. So why do we want 16? Split those eights. Well, if the dealer's showing a 10, why would you split eights? So you can have two 18s and lose twice?
My understanding is the dealer's showing a 10, you're not supposed to split anything.
Well, aces.
Oh. Because I can't do the math. If it's like 3 through 6, you're supposed to split. But if they're showing a face card, you're not supposed to split aces. At least that has to be the probability has to be enough of an edge where maybe it's not so frowned upon not to split aces against a 10. I don't know.
No, you always split aces. Every time.
That seems overly simplistic. But you lived in Vegas, so I'll go with you. And
I don't. There are very few hard and fast rules. Especially guys like us. We're counting through a 6-deck shoe. We've got a computer going on at all times, counting all these cards.
Hardy, are you getting the aces and eights thing mixed up with the dead man's hand from poker?
No, I'm not 12. Shush.
No, aces and eights he's saying it right. Stupid.
Wild Bill Hickok.
Okay.
It's the hand that got him killed, Hardy.
All right.
It's the hand that got him killed.
What the hell just happened?
I thought you were talking about Bubby Epson.
What the hell just
Hickok.
So I got that email.
Hello.
I got that email too.
I didn't click through.
Oh, about Bubby
because
Epson. It has to be that he went to Rollins, right?
I don't know.
I was afraid to click on it.
Oh, Buddy Epson didn't. Is that the kid that played the son on, or is Buddy Epson the?
No, he was the father of Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, what did he do?
And originally the Tin Man.
Yeah, he couldn't handle the makeup.
But he got real sick, lead poisoning. Yeah, somebody sent us a. Just know that if you email us and there's any link involved, there's only about a 4% chance we're going to be able to open it without having to re-enroll our device.
Yeah.
Somebody sent a link. All it said was, touch. Did you know? Buddy Epson, Wikipedia, and then a link to Wikipedia. And then you click the link, and it's his Wikipedia page. I'm like, what? What?
What do you do?
I don't know. You have to read through the whole thing. Did he go to Rollins College?
He did.
Okay, well, then that's got to be it.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, you got that right, Jack. Is he a notable alumni? We'll see. Because I'm one of the notable alumni out of that sumbitch.
I don't even see where it says that he went to Rollins College in his Wikipedia.
It doesn't.
Oh, there it is.
Right side.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to look at the notable alumni right now.
Yeah. You'll see me. Don't worry about it.
How far down do I have to go? Oh, it's alphabetical.
Yeah. 5 bucks.
Fred Tocher, radio personality.
Yeah.
A host of the Wrong Name Show. That's great. Why don't you clean that up?
I got to hire a guy to go in there and really take care of biz on the wick. But, it's just being mentioned.
Oh, Mr. Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Rollins College.
Marcy Darcy from Married with Children.
Anthony Perkins from Psycho.
Pan Dobler from Mork and Mindy. Oh, no, that was North Farmington. I apologize.
Oh, Rob Oppenheim. From the North Shore. He's a golfer. Been on quite a bit of success on some of the smaller tours and the PGA Tour.
You've had him on? Who were the guests?
Rob Oppenheim. Have I had him on the Sports Hub Golf Club? Yeah, I've had him on the Sports Hub.
Did you talk about Rollins?
No.
Didn't
come up.
I have a fraternity brother of mine that was on the golf team, and his dad flew down to school to grab him and yell at him because he missed a national tournament because he had taken acid the night before.
Oh, okay.
His father was none too pleased. Flew down.
Elin Nordegren, Tiger's ex, gave the commencement address in 2014.
She was one of them local yokels that went to the business school. That was after the divorce when she was trying to get her life together.
Yeah.
It's not like she went there and was like the super hot girl on campus.
They got quite a golf team there, apparently. A lot of notable golfers.
Mad Dog went there. He played. I think he might have played tennis there. You can tell by his size he was a big tennis guy.
Chris Kirkpatrick, did you already mention him?
Yeah, but I think that's another one that, like, when he was a failure, he went to the business school.
Oh, from InSync, of course.
The guy from Fresh Off the Boat, that guy was the editor of the newspaper, but somehow he's ingrained himself in New York rap culture. But he was the editor of a newspaper I didn't know existed except for the time it wrote about my roommate moving out because I was banging my girlfriend in the room with him, which I put on Instagram.
Holy
if you go
crap.
through it.
Pete Dye went to Rollins College. You know what Pete Dye is?
Yeah.
John?
No idea.
Golf course architect Pete Dye?
He invented the suicide machine.
No idea. You got me. Sorry.
You guys are idiots.
International abortionist. There's a lot of those at Rollins. On the vanguard of abortion technology. They have a whole major for it. All right. Well, enough of you. Wasting my time. Mike Vrabel's a big-time liar. Oh, boy, did that blow up in his face. It's best keep your mouth shut, gang.
And by the way, don't try and walk back my use of the word performative. I'm ready to triple down on that.
Oh, good.
Let's really dig into that.
Yeah,
let's keep going with
I don't think Hardy meant performative. Yeah, I did. By him, by the team, by everybody.
We were getting mired in that we thought, well, performative by the team. I don't think so. I think that, okay, well, we can get into it.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's dig in. Let's give our speculation on someone's personal life that we have no knowledge of.
Well, we weren't able to all last week. Make
but
up for it.
What's interesting about me is not that it's a guy that banged other chicks. Like, good for him. Like, I mean, a lot of people do it. It's this notion of that you got caught and then lying. It's the same thing as, I'll tell you, it's the same thing as Tiger Woods flipping the car and going, I was talking to the president. At a certain point, you're caught. Like, just, I mean, I've done it. At a certain point, you're caught. Not cheating, but like on the air, like when I messed up, okay, I'll go to rehab. There's no getting out of this one. There. Problem solved. I'm still on the air. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Hub headlines.
Celtics closed the first quarter on a 22-5 run, and they were not challenged after that in a 128-96 win in Philadelphia in Game 4 of that first-round playoff series. Peyton Pritchard had the hot hand. He led the Green with 32 points off the bench. Jason Tatum added 30. Celtics lead this best of 7, 3-1. They'll host Game 5 tomorrow night. Last night, Houston beat the Lakers 115-96 to avoid being swept. San Antonio blew out Portland 114-93. Spurs lead 3-1. And Toronto and Cleveland are even at 2 games apiece after the Raptors won yesterday 93-89. At TD Garden yesterday, the Bruins pulled a no-show in their biggest game of the season. They were flattened by Buffalo 6-1 at TD Garden. Sabres scored 4 times in the first period, and that was it. Sean Corrali's meaningless goal with 40 seconds left avoided a shutout. Right now, the Sabres lead 3-1, and they will host Game 5 tomorrow night. At the NHL playoffs, Colorado swept LA 5-1. Tampa Bay won in Montreal 3-2. Lightning and Canadiens even at 2 games apiece. And Anaheim knocked off Edmonton in overtime 4-3. They now lead that series 3-1. And the Red Sox won their first game after firing Alex Cora yesterday 5-3 in Baltimore. Connolly early allowed 2 runs in 6 2/3 innings for the win.
I just think, we played really good baseball. We played hard baseball today. We stole some bags, got some really big knocks in there, pitched the ball really well. So that's the way, AC wants us to go out there and play. And I think we did a really good job, just sticking to what we do.
Wilson Contreras hit a 2-run homer to lead the offense. The Sox will pitch Ranger Suarez in Toronto tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing. Never ever replace your roof again. It's East Coast Metal Roofing's Spring into Savings event, where Sports Hub listeners get 10% off the new roof that's guaranteed to last a lifetime. Call 844-611-ECMR or eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just
that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
Sports.
And now back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy, and when we were gone, there was quite a bit of action. When we were here, Mike Vrabel and reporter Diana Rossini were found out at a resort in Arizona. And they came out and they said, this is ridiculous. Vrabel said, this is laughable. This is crazy laughable. And then they did an investigation over at The Athletic, which is owned by the New York Times, and Rossini, she resigned, but she still came down fighting, denying. And now photos have come out from them from years ago, smooching at a bar. So guess what? They were having sex. One could only assume. So you have to ask yourself, why come out and say this is laughable? Why lie? Again, look, we all do things that we don't want everyone to know about, or have done things that we don't want everyone to know about. And there is such a thing as plausible deniability, and we've all used it. And certainly cheating on a spouse is not something that is unique, especially for those in powerful positions. But there is a point where you have been caught. And I gave the case for Tiger Woods at the time and just recently. When Tiger Woods gets pulled over and he's effed up, but he's just been pulled over, you go, hey, I'm Tiger Woods. Look at me. I'm your friend. And you try to get off. When you flip a car during the middle of the day in a residential neighborhood, that is not the time to try to get out of it. You have been caught. There is a certain point, like, what do you want the cops to do? Like, okay, nothing to see here. There's just a car on its side at 2 p.m. in some guy's driveway in Florida on a Monday. Like, it's up. The game is done. There is a certain point where you have to throw your hands in the air and say, I will fall on the mercy of the public. And the thing is, there is a Michael Jackson movie out now that I saw with my daughter.
Oh.
That I believe is the #1 movie in America. When does it end? He's on stage in the Bad Tour. What does it not address? The accusations of pedophilia. All I'm saying is that there are guys that allegedly have done unspeakably horrible things where there are romantic, fanish documentaries coming out of them after their passing. My point is, if your sin is adultery, just get it out of the way.
Well,
don't say anything, and then move on.
Why did he say laughable? Horrible decision and or bad advice. Someone told him to say that where that's just the wrong thing to do. It's just wrong. Did you do it? Then say, how about this? Say nothing. Don't say anything. Or admit it. But if you did it, don't lie about it because now you got this.
You say nothing, and then when it gets time and you're asked about it, you make a contrite statement, and then you move on.
Right. If you didn't do it, shout all you want.
Well,
and don't say laughable. Say this is a serious allegation. I'm serious when I say absolutely not. Did this happen? Oh no, I'm laughing at you. No, this is laughable to ever think this would happen.
Well, people come up to me in the Bahamas because he said you're right. If I'm Diana Rossini and Vrabel and I'm being accused of adultery, and I didn't do it, I am going absolutely ballistic.
Yep.
Like, this is not something that is going away. No. I want my pound of flesh. You're going to accuse me of doing something I didn't do, and the world is going to run with it. And this is embarrassing for the sake of my for everything. I didn't do it. Like, I'm not going to handle this privately because it's not private anymore. This is what happened. Dude, again, we've been through this a million times, but at first they were like, we were all there with friends, which was laughable. That was laughable. But say it was true. And I made the thing. I went with 2 friends. She was with 2 friends. We met up. We're the same age. We run in the same circles. These friends went off to party and do ecstasy and blow and all bang each other and have the time of their lives. And what were we going to do? So we hung out and we sat in a hot tub together, which is, I can tell you, a lot more innocent than it is for 2 male reporters to be out at 4 a.m. doing blow in a bar. So guess what? You guys all hang out and you guys are all doing this. This was, by comparison, a G-rated affair. Affair is the wrong term. A G-rated situation. And I would have gone nuts, absolutely crazy about it. How dare you? All of you making these assumptions. And if I'm Rossini, I'm a woman reporter, and this wouldn't happen if I was a man. And here's what really went on, and I deserve an apology. Then I'm writing a book. Then I'm then I'm a martyr, and everyone's got to kiss my ass for the rest of my career. Now, I don't know if I want that, but she could have had it if she wanted it. So when you deny it, here's the kinds of things that have happened. Now, this was sent to me by my ex-wife, which I have to give her credit for. Because every woman in the world is obsessed with this now because he denied it. And so when you deny things and then it comes out that you were smooching at a bar years ago, that you've been having what would seem like a long-term affair, which you could have kind of insinuated by the fact that they met each other out of state at a resort. Again, everyone understands you're famous, good-looking girl, you're out. Things go wrong. You have sex. These are forgivable things if you want to. Like, everyone understands carnal passions, baby. But meeting at a resort, 2-hour drive each way. I don't like that if I'm either of these spouses. But here is Howie Carr. Now, where my ex-wife found this, who knows? But it was on her social media or something. But Howie Carr is doing something right.
That deserves another investigation.
Yeah, where one finds this particular
I told her yesterday,
broadcast these days. I don't know.
I dropped my daughter off yesterday. I'm like, thank you for sending this to me. And I go, Howie Carr. And she goes, who the hell's Howie Carr? She's like, I didn't send that to you. And I went through my text. I go, you absolutely did. What Howie Carr is doing this on, I'll never know. But it showed up on my ex-wife's Instagram, and it was, women everywhere sending they're obsessed with this, obviously. And here's the speculation that comes up when you could have just said nothing or just admitted it. Here is the speculation.
What's been the best part of your birthday so far today?
This is Diana Rossini. He talks around a clip of Diana Rossini staring lovingly into Vrabel's eyes while the two of them flirt on camera while he was coach of Tennessee.
What's been the best part of your birthday so far today?
My son, Carter.
March of 2020, she was with him. Her son was born in August of 2021. By a strange coincidence, after she was involved with this coach named Michael Vrabel, would you care to guess what her son's first name is? Keep looking at my almost 4-day-old son, Michael, while trying to figure out who the best Michaels to ever play and coach in the NFL. Play and coach. You see, Mike Vrabel just happens to have played and coached in the National Football League, and she named her son after him. DNA testing now is very affordable.
So she had a kid around the time she was smooching him at a bar. The kid was born. It was a son. She named the kid Michael, and then in a statement said, I wanted to name him after the best coach and player. So, see, the problem is when you deny it and people start digging in, these are the kinds of things that they find. Now, is this of any proof or evidence that the son is Mike Vrabel's? Of course not. My only point is that this leads to this kind of intense scrutiny and investigation that would not be happening if you just would have gone, all right, yes, okay, you caught us. We had sex, and everyone can move on. You know, there's a lot of things happening in the world, way more important than this. And people would have moved on, and there would have been little, side talk and jokes, and it would have been on late night for a night, and you would have moved on with your life. Now, your marriage is going to suck, but whatever. These happen. And now, why you don't get a divorce at this point, we were talking about, Hardy, I don't know.
No, and
I don't know, because how is this getting any better? Obviously, something in this isn't working for you. It's not the worst thing in the world just to go, okay, we agree to disagree. Here are your alimony payments, and I'll be on my way.
So, two things on this. Number one, let's not automatically assume that just because she named her kid Michael and she wanted to name it after a great football person, it had to be Mike Vrabel.
This is unbelievable.
You know, if you're talking about just great, football greats, there's a lot of Michaels out there. But in terms of him stepping away and not being there on Saturday, there was almost certainly a conversation between him and his wife about, if you're serious about this, then you have to do this and you have to take it. Why does it have to be on the Saturday of the draft? By the way, I thought it was funny when they traded away one of their Saturday picks so that they could move up in the first round. And the first thing I thought of was like, oh, yeah, one less pick for, the rest of the staff to make because Vrabel's not going to be there. So that kind of makes sense.
Well, what have we heard the whole time? I mean, I think I asked someone last week who makes the picks, and they're like, Vrabel. I said Elliott Wolf, because he has had these success in these recent drafts. Has he proven himself? Like, is he in charge of things? And they said, no, Mike Vrabel makes the picks. That was told to us by a reporter, one of the 1,500 we had on last week. I asked specifically, and they said Vrabel. So he's not there for day 3. But you know what happened is that for whatever reason and for whatever exercise they're doing to save this marriage, which to me is their own business, but it's just ludicrous, just get a divorce. I mean, you don't
think
things
they
happen.
can salvage this thing?
No, I think it might hang over things for a while. I think it might be the loser of every argument from here until you die.
Or don't have it, or don't get a divorce and work it out without making this statement about it. Now, when we heard,
but that's what women want. It's not enough just to go to couples therapy. If you want this, you have to make a sacrifice. I gave you the example of the flowers.
Okay, all right, fine. Make the sacrifice. Why did when I found out about it, when we all found out about it, it was the team saying that Vrabel's not going to be here on Saturday, and this is why, because he's got this this thing that he's going to do, and I don't know what the exact statement was. John, maybe you remember what it was, but
I don't
it was
remember
all
either,
put
but-
out there.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's happening. It's Vrabel and his family, and they're doing this thing. They didn't have to say anything. Now, as Mike Reiss said earlier, if you saw a shot inside the draft room and wasn't there on Saturday, it would have raised a lot of questions. But all you had to, you still don't have to say anything. It was a personal matter.
Look, what do you want the team to do? This isn't the team's fault. It's
not the team's fault, but the team is, I think, part of this performative gesture where they're going to put this thing out there and they're going to say, we're going to help polish up this image here. We're going to make you out to be a really upstanding guy by facing up to this and taking away one of the most important days of the year to miss that so that you can focus in on this. Yes, I like that. Let's run this with a couple of focus groups and see how this plays.
You're asking a lot of the team. I mean, they got thrown this crap in their lap, and then he goes to him. I got to miss it because the negotiation was I can't miss day 1 or 2 because then I'm going to get fired. I have a feeling if he had to miss day 1 in the draft, they'd fire him.
Sure.
It's like I'm going to lose my job, and she says, "Okay, I don't want you to lose your job." And then I don't know what you want the team to do. I mean, the team's got to sit there. What do you want him to do? I mean, he didn't break the law. They're not even acknowledged. He hasn't even publicly acknowledged, really straight out admitted that he cheated on her. So
what I would like the team to do is not participate in this charade of them making a big show of how he's taking this seriously and how they're going to go off and do this thing. It didn't have to be on that day, but if she wants it on that day, then all right, then go do it, but just don't make a statement about it.
I don't know what you want them to do, though.
You got to make a statement.
I mean, he's not going to be there.
Got to make a statement. You got to get ahead of it because it would be worse if the camera flashed into that room for all these picks and Vrabel wasn't there. And then, where's Mike Vrabel?
The Patriots have two choices. You can fire him or you can keep him as your coach, but there's nothing they can do about it. It doesn't – the Patriots didn't do anything. He didn't break the law. This is like the epitome of a personal matter. Like he told him, I'm not going to be there. And the team had to be like, okay, we're not going to fire you, which I wouldn't have fired him either, but we're not going to fire you. So what do you want the team to do? He's not going to be here. They really can't say anything. There's nothing they can say. He's the one. The issue here is that he just lied right away. And again, I've made mistakes. I came on the air. I was all out of my mind, and I yelled at management. And you know what I did? I woke up the next day and I said, okay, well, I best go to rehab because this is not good and there's no getting out of it. I am caught. And I knew I got to do something. Everything's a mess. My job's a mess. My house is a mess. I got to do something. And it's up. I surrender. No, not completely, Hardy. That took years. But I said I surrender. And I went to rehab. And I said...
Well, you had the benefit of making your huge mistake on a live microphone.
Yeah, I didn't get caught in a resort banging another chick by the New York Post. My bad. And also, by the way, I was frisked and my bag was gone through and I was not under the influence of alcohol, I'll have you know. If I was, I would have been fired. It was residual stuff. But
you some goofballs?
No, it's sadder than that. It was trazodone, which isn't even a narcotic. Neither here nor there. It was not. I took it at a poorly time.
Melatonin.
Magnesium.
I
wouldn't be here today. Thank God I didn't have my hands on it. My point is this: again, you flip a car at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. You get caught interlocking fingers with some chick you've been banging for 6 years. You got away with it for a long time. There's a time where you got to go, okay. And then you know what? Everyone makes mistakes. Now, look, can you save your marriage? No, probably not. It seems like, but this is getting way into the weeds. I don't know the family at all, and this is unfair for me to say. But my advice, Mike, if you're listening, is just end it.
Oh.
Why? The kids are grown. Leave. Who wants to spend the rest of their life making apologies? It's terrible for everyone. I guess if she really wants you to stay, I don't know. Who knows? It's their own relationship. There's worse things than getting divorced, trust me. But nonetheless,
A lot of people have affairs who are in otherwise, believe it or not, happy marriages. They say there's nothing wrong with their marriage. They just,
Yeah, this isn't one of them because you don't miss day 3 of the draft when you're swinging.
Can't fault that logic.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that have open marriages. This isn't one of them.
I didn't say open. I said they have an affair, but otherwise their marriage is happy.
If you have an affair, there's an episode of Frasier where Miles has a client.
This will bring it home.
And the client has had an affair, and he goes to Frasier. My client had an affair, and my suggestion was not to tell his wife, because why? If they're in this otherwise happy marriage, one act of passion should not ruin a lifetime of companionship. Fair enough. He was at a resort with her, and they were smooching 6 years ago. It was more. Again, if he went out to a party and banged some chick, and everyone, fine, big deal. That sucks, but you can work through that. I don't know if you can work through having a 6-year relationship where the girl names her kid Michael and everything else. Sometimes you just got to call it a day. That's right. Well, and congratulations to Howie Carr. Thank you for the content, because I wouldn't have put 2 and 2 together, but you did, and that's why you're an investigative journalist and I'm not. All right. We'll be back in just a moment with Bob Beers. We can talk about the affair that happened on yesterday, which was a terrible, terrible game. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy next on the Sports Hub.
So, no.
Toucher and Hardy.
No.
On the Sports Hub.
We should be embarrassed because it was embarrassing. So, guys know me, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to analyze this. And by the end of the day, we have to move on, too. So, yeah, I am embarrassed, and we all should be. And we're all pissed. And we will talk about it, but then we have to move on.
Yeah, terrible yesterday. I was listening to the first minutes of the game on the radio, and Bob Beers was calling the game for the 98.5 The Sports Hub Radio Network with Ryan Johnston. And Bob, when it was 1-0, was talking, and they got I was listening when it was too many men on the ice penalty at 1-0, and Bob was not holding back on how terrible the team looked and how they had not come to play, and then it all played out just as Bob had anticipated or had seen with his own two eyes as one of the worst games you've seen the Bruins play. I guess one of the worst. It couldn't be much worse period that they played. Bob Beers is the expert, though. Bob, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Such a great morning, right, guys?
I'm not on the team. It's all right with me. They failed, not me.
You're right, though.
That's funny for you guys to talk about this week.
Yes. Well, listen, we've got cheating coaches and everything else. All right, so is I guess put it in perspective. Have you seen this team play this badly this year, or what the hell was going on? It was horrible.
They've had some rough games, but that's over an 82-game season. You expect that. You kind of live with it because it's a long schedule. It's a tough schedule, and it's a flawed team. I mean, every team's going to have it, but I mean, Bruins are a flawed team. We know that. But they're going to make up for it by hard work and coming to compete every night. But this is game 4 of the playoffs. You're playing the exact same schedule as the other team. You're down 2-1. You're on home ice, and there's just that period is. I can't even. I mean, they use the word embarrassing. Okay, so we'll use that word, but it just. I can't explain it. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, between just making simple plays, tape-to-tape passes, losing battles, turning pucks over, you add it all, and coverage. Add those things together, and it was just a complete, disaster. And it wasn't just the first. I mean, the third period, same thing, but the first period set the tone, right? And they just never could recover. They had a decent second period trying to come back. They hit a couple of posts, and maybe the game changes a little bit if one of those goes in. But it was just that first period. I can't explain it. They can't explain it.
Now that you've said that, I don't know if I'm going to get a different answer, but I mean, I'm having a hard time understanding where Charlie McAvoy was going on that too many men on the ice penalty. I'm having a hard time explaining why they abandoned Jordan Harris in his own end, and that led to a turnover. I assume, based on what you just said.
Whoa. That's a setup breakout. He had options.
Did he? Okay. I'm watching on TV. You saw a clear picture of it.
Yeah, they but that's a setup breakout. Buffalo scored 2 goals on setup breakouts. You know what I'm saying when a setup breakout, right? You set up behind the net.
Yeah.
Everything's calm. There's nothing going on. And Buffalo scored 2 goals off of turnovers or setup breakouts. That can't. It's just it's mind-boggling. Charlie had a rough day. Harris had a really rough day. That was a guy that was inserted. But it's not just those two. Lindholm. I don't want to. I'm wrong in pointing out specific people, but because it was the entire team. It was all bad in the defensive zone.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's I guess the thing that I kept looking at yesterday, Bob, and during the game was just the inability to either hang on to the puck in your own end or to clear the puck, and it's something that has popped up from time to time when the team is playing well. It seems kind of effortless, and they don't make just really odd choices. Making passes in front of the goal or or kind of like stressing out about clearing the puck, but they did it so many times yesterday. It looked like a team that couldn't play any other way, even though we've seen them play a different way. And whether you chalk it up to just being a bad game, or maybe this is more what this team is, and something we've kind of struggled with all season. Maybe they just don't have the horses in order to pull it off in the toughest moments.
Well, like I said, they're a flawed team. Like a lot of teams are. They have their weaknesses, right? There's 16 teams that didn't make the playoffs. So, they're one of the teams that made the playoffs. And they deserve credit for that. And they still have a chance, right? They still, you go into Buffalo and win a game, and who knows? You put some doubt into Buffalo's minds. But if you play like that, obviously, that what I saw in the first period yesterday, it wasn't even under pressure. That was the problem for me. Like I said, at least two goals on set-up breakouts. There's no pressure. There's no pressure from the Sabres. They're not under duress. It's simple plays, and that's what blew my mind. And of course, too many men. They had a chance to clear that puck and didn't do it when they were shorthanded. During the penalty kill, and then it was right after the power play expired that the goal was scored. But so coverage in front of the net on all six goals. I don't think any of the six goals were off the rush. They were all coverage and turnovers and just ugly inside your own zone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so frustrated. I'm sure like everybody was watching that game.
Well, you played, and so you got to be watching that.
Oh, I made my fair share of mistakes.
No, but
I'm an expert. I'm an expert from the ninth floor, guys.
But what I'm saying is that but you understand more than anyone the degree of difficulty to just have that all go wrong that quickly.
It just snowballed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it was. You saw it happening, and it's like you're watching the car wreck. You can't keep your eyes off of it. It kept happening in the first period. It happened a couple more times in the third with coverage issues, but and 50-50 battles. But it was all inside your own zone, and it was just that was the thing that was just I can't put words into it. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you called it. Like I said, it was right at that too many men on the ice, and you're like, they're lucky they're only down one, and it was 4 minutes into the game or something.
Swayman made some great saves.
Yep.
So, Bob, I was going to ask you when Swayman came off, he appeared to be yelling at someone down the bench. Do you know?
Yelling at the team.
It wasn't just one guy.
I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I'm not sure. Maybe it was at one guy, but I don't think so. I'm sure it was directed at everybody. But I'm guessing it was directed at everybody. But
thanks for nothing type of yell at everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got to be terrible. You let in,
I mean, did you see the save he made on Benson? Did you see they got outshot 9? Okay, all right. We're piling on, right? They got outshot 19-5 on home ice in the first period in Game 4 of a series you're trailing 2-1. And I don't think it was much of what Buffalo did. I think it was imploding. And that's what's the most frustrating part of it.
Yeah, I mean, he had a guy hooking his own pad on one of the goals. I mean, yeah, it was not a good day to be Jeremy Swayman. All right, so that happened, and you move on. So
first three games. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm putting.
No, please, dude. You're the expert. Please go.
No, it's first three games were evenly played.
Mm-hmm.
They could have won all three. They could have lost all three. They could have won all three though. They should. In my mind, they should have been up 2-1. They let that game one get away from them. So you're up in the series. What ifs, right? You could have been, but you're not. So you've got to come to play in Game 4 on home ice, and they didn't. So they have to own it. They did. I've heard all the comments after the game. Everybody that I heard talk said embarrassing. So now what do you do about it? And that's, you still have a series. We've seen teams come back from 3-1.
Yeah, we have.
And what do you do about it going back? Yeah.
In the NHL, that can happen. So do you think that's a possibility? What do they have to do? Like, you go on the road. Is this a game that if Buffalo scores first, is this the kind of team that gets deflated but you don't see it that way?
Well, no, you could.
Right.
I've seen them come back after, getting scored on first, but it's just now a matter of, like I said before the playoffs, you're not playing different teams every night. You're not playing, 4 games in 6 days with travel, things like that. You're playing the same team, same travel schedule, everything else. So everything is on equal footing right now. What changes do they make in the lineup? And you got to imagine they're going to make at least a couple going into this game. What adjustments do they make, and what compete level do they come out with? So the turnovers are one thing, but the 50-50 battles inside your own zone, that's another. And they lost too many of them. So you're gonna have a team that's rolling right now, right? I mean, they felt they played their best game. Buffalo played their best game in Game 3, and I don't know if they played their best game in Game 4 because I thought the Bruins handed it to them. So now, how do the Bruins handle adversity going into Game 5? And do they have the mental capacity or wherewithal, whatever, to say, all right, we're gonna bounce back from this thing. We'll know early.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and that will be interesting to see. Bob's going to be there. That's tomorrow night in Buffalo. Bob Beers, Ryan Johnson here. The game right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Well, it can't get much worse.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah. We know it can't get much worse.
I think that's pretty much rock bottom. For that game, right?
The television guys at the end of the second period were like, "Well, at least they know how to play him now." And you're like, "Okay, well, that's good news." They're a professional hockey team. In Game 4, you would have thought that would have been figured out by now.
Yeah.
All right, Bob. Thank you so much for the time, Bob. We appreciate it,
guys. Enjoy your week of plenty to talk about.
Yes, there is indeed. Thank you, Bob. We appreciate it. And here is John to catch you up on all of it. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline. comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
In the 5-star telly, saying 2 mic rhymes, speed up average MCs at a time.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Ian Brown is going to join us coming up to talk about the firing of Alex Cora that has got everyone in Major League Baseball confused because, again, they fired Alex Cora in April when they had an entire offseason in spring training to make the decision. But they've decided, and we went through it, Roman Anthony and his 83 at-bats, they've decided that at 21 and through 83 at-bats, that the problem has been analyzed and found, and people are responding, oh, well, they're playing like crap. What do you want them to do? Oh, no, you can fire Alex Cora, but it in no way, shape, or form looks good for the organization that they kept him through an offseason in his spring training, and they're playing like this, and they decided to fire him now. That's, any way you slice it, logically terrible for the front office. And they've also assembled a team that has no star players to fall back on when things go wrong. You have young could-be stars, one of which is now playing in the minor leagues, who you've signed to a long-term extension, in Christian Campbell. But you're asking for 2 kids in their early 20s to figure out Major League pitching in 83 at-bats. And what happens if you have someone like Devers or Bregman, but more Devers, is that even if he slumps, you know he's getting out of it and that he can carry a lineup because he's a guy at the end of the year. I'll see what he's doing now. But he's a
Devers
guy
has not started well.
But he didn't start well last year. But at the end of the year, you know what his line's going to be.
He's going to wind up hitting 250 with 30 homers and 100 RBIs. That's what he does.
Yes.
It's what he does. Now, how he gets there, who knows? But he does. That is his baseline. I mean, you could factor in the park and how hitting in San Francisco is different than hitting in Boston, but that's where he's going to wind up.
Yeah. Right, yeah. He's got 2 home runs. He's hitting 216.
He hasn't started well. He's had a very slow month, but there have been a lot of very good Major League Baseball players that have started slow.
So I guess you could even lend to the point, too, if you have Devers starting this slow, what do you want a 21-year-old kid to do? But nonetheless, if throughout the course of 162 games, it's the old Sparky Anderson thing, I'll repeat myself. They said, how did you manage the team? And he said, essentially, I'd get Rose, Bench, and Morgan in, and I talked to them because stars are what win you games over 162 games. You need stars. That's why we pay these guys, and ultimately it all goes through them. There's going to be weeks where that's not the case, but when it comes down to it, you have such a long sample size that in the end, it's these stars that are the difference between winning and losing, and they do not have them on this team.
Obviously, the argument for keeping Cora was, well, hell, they had no one for large portions of the season. They really didn't have a rotation to speak of, and somehow they made the playoffs under Cora last year, technically, even though they lost in the play-in round. You weren't going to fire him after that kind of managing job, but the fallout from that is you have a pretty fully formed roster. There's no big call-up. There's no one who's hurt who can come in and save you, and they have not started well. So they panicked, and it was more of a upper management problem than it was an Alex Cora problem, but upper management isn't going to get rid of themselves. You have to make a move, and in a weird way, Fred, this is ownership actually trying to win. You know, we have a roster. We should be winning. We're not winning. We have to make a move. And they went ahead and made the move. And that, by the way, has been very rare from this ownership and this front office in the last 5 or 6 years. So at least there's that, if there's nothing else.
They made a move?
A move that they think will help them win.
Well, a move that is inarguably about their own incompetence.
Of course it is.
Because you shouldn't fire a manager in April because he shouldn't have the job.
Yeah.
You don't make, and by the way, he's not a new guy. He didn't do like one thing.
Right.
He has had, I guess, a lot of control for a long time. And all of a sudden you find out on the 25th of April, or whatever the hell day it is, that now is the time that we're going to fire him. It's just stupid.
Here's an example. You remember 2011, Terry Francona's last year. They had a roster that was stacked. Everyone thought that team was going to win 100, 110 games. And I don't know if you remember this, Fred, but they did not start well. They were terrible in April of that year. And Terry Francona kept his job. And you know what? They turned it around. And even though they didn't make the playoffs because of a historic collapse in September and Francona was gone after the season was over, they did keep him. If you look back, I don't know what the numbers were, but they were terrible in April of 2011. And they were supposed to be really, really good. But this ownership kept Francona through that.
Well, short of sabotage, John, put yourself in any position, unless you thought someone was willfully losing or willfully incompetent, like all of a sudden, like something happened and there was some kind of run-in or craziness, or they, short of some epic disaster of a move, would you fire a manager that you've had for this long in April?
Not in April, no.
No, because it just proves that you're incompetent. And what makes it worse is the way they talk, is that they talk like scientists. And if, fine, great, you figured it all out, swing path and numbers and this. And it all has its place. And I understand it. But that being said, then the margin of error shouldn't be this large. Like, you shouldn't, if you have it all figured out, you shouldn't be firing your manager in April. You should have figured this out when you put the roster together and saw them play in the spring and saw these guys in the World Baseball Classic and everything else. You should have known before now. If everything is so beyond the human element, which is how they talk and how they believe, there's no human element. It's just based on going out there and performing, and it's metrics and numbers and all these things. Well, no, it's not, because you fired your manager in April, and so everything you lined up was wrong.
And the reason you gave for it is you needed some kind of atmospheric change and in a different direction philosophically. It's like, well, philosophy and atmosphere shouldn't enter into it. If you put the team together based on the right numbers, then what the hell does that have to do?
Or if you were feuding with Meyer and Anthony and you weren't getting along, figure it out in the spring. Figure it out at the end of last year. Don't figure it out in April. Like, these guys are around. Like, if there's any excuse for it, he didn't get along with the young players. Fine. You didn't know until now. The cultural atmosphere of the team, you didn't know until now. It took you till now, with all your numbers and all your science, it took you till now to figure out that what was wrong was the human interacting with the people. That's like, all these numbers can't lie. It must be the human that we've thrown into this horrible mix.
At least they're reverting back to their robotic nature when they impart to the players, in so many words. Was it Whitlock who said, we're pretty much told...
right, it was Whitlock.
We're pretty much told we're paid to play baseball. That's all we have to do is show up to play baseball. You are paid to play baseball. Do not worry about anything else.
It is far and away the earliest the Red Sox, if I saw a stat yesterday, the earliest the Red Sox have fired a manager since World War II was June.
It's just such a sign of organizational incompetence. It just is. Cora could be deserved to be fired, but it's something that should have been figured out before you got into this mess. That's inexcusable, especially since you're so buttoned down. These pesky humans are ruining everything.
I mean, you listen to them speak, and they sound like, Craig Breslow sounds like Chaim Bloom before him. Sounds like a robot.
Well, they screwed Chaim Bloom, which is why they couldn't get... John, that's the problem, is everyone goes, Chaim Bloom sucks, Chaim Bloom sucked. The baseball thinks they screwed Chaim Bloom. Well, ask Ian Brown. He'll say it. That's why they couldn't get anyone else to manage this team, be the general manager of this team. That's exactly why. Because Chaim Bloom was given the directive. He delivered on that directive, and now they're supposed to be reaping the benefits of it, and they fired him for the exercise. Chaim Bloom might be the world's worst GM. Fine.
You'll find out.
Do you think I'm protecting him because he's the general manager of the Cardinals?
I know. What I'm saying is,
what do you think my expectation?
That's all.
All I'm saying is that we can ask Ian Brown. It is universally believed that they screwed Chaim Bloom, and that's why they couldn't get a general manager. Well, ask Ian Brown. I've heard 18 people say it this weekend. National guys. They screwed Chaim Bloom. If Ian Brown will say no, I can just assure you
the Red
that people
Sox
around
have
the
fired
league,
how many GMs in the last decade?
Well, the belief is
come
they
on.
screw him time bloom, that he did what they want him to do. They fired him anyway, and that's why they couldn't get a general manager. And this isn't helping because they're going to end up firing Breslow too. And then God knows who you're going to get. Better than Breslow, wouldn't trade Devers for garbage that made you actively worse, not in the absence of Devers, but in the war of the players you brought in were worse than replacement players.
None of which are here, by the way.
Of course not, because they can't play. I
They
told
suck,
you Jordan
that's
Hicks
why.
sucks. I don't know why I know Jordan Hicks sucks, but they wanted him, and they put him on the field. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5. station. Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics now lead the 76ers 3-1 in their best-of-7 first-round playoff series after a statement 128-96 win in Philadelphia last night. The Green left no doubt, making 24 threes. Peyton Pritchard had 6 of them on his way to a game-high 32 points. Jason Tatum added 30. Celtics host Game 5 tomorrow night. Last night, Houston avoided being swept. They beat the Lakers 115-96. San Antonio rallied for a 114-93 win in Portland. They lead 3-1. And Toronto and Cleveland now even at 2 games apiece. The Raptors won yesterday 93-89. As for the Bruins, they got embarrassed at home by Buffalo 6-1 yesterday. Alex Tuck, Josh Stone, and Peyton Krebs had a goal and an assist apiece for the winners. Sabres now lead the playoff series 3-1, and they host Game 5 tomorrow night. At the NHL playoffs, Colorado swept LA 5-1. Tampa Bay and Montreal even at 2 games apiece after a Lightning 3-2 win yesterday. And Anaheim beat Edmonton in overtime 4-3. Ducks lead 3-1. And the Red Sox got a homer from Wilson Contreras. They beat the Orioles for a second straight day 5-3 in Baltimore. They pitch Ranger Suarez in Toronto tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Jeffrey Glassman, the Toucher and Hardy email bit powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all 7s at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
Why do people listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Look, Craig leads our baseball operation, and he's made several bold decisions and recommendations.
Which is a big title. I love introducing you, Ian, because the way it's written in front of me is you're the supervising club reporter for MLB.com. You've covered the Red Sox since 2002. Ian, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, great to be on with you guys, as always.
Do you ever have to pick up the phone when someone asks to speak to their supervisor and it ends up being you? And then you have to account for one of your underlings' transgressions?
Yeah, every now and then, it's not uncomfortable, but, you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, what do you think of the Cora firing, the timing of it? Just give us your breakdown of it.
I mean, the whole thing was just shocking. Of all the things I've covered in my 25 years covering the Red Sox, this was just the timing of it. I mean, I just almost fell out of my chair because there were rumblings, right, Saturday night. First you hear, there's going to be a coaching shakeup a couple coaches ago, and then you're like, oh, no, it's almost the whole staff. It's Alex Cora. And you're like, what? They just won 17-1. We're not even a month into the season. So the timing was very odd. It was very early. We hear all in baseball all the time about small sample sizes and not to overreact to small sample sizes. And this was a 27-game sample size here where they decided to get rid of their manager. So, yeah, very, very surprising. The players were very surprised. That was obvious when we talked to them yesterday. So, yeah, Craig Breslow kind of making a statement. This is my team. If things don't work out for me, I'm going to go down with my guys. And that's kind of the way it went down.
Okay, so Ian, the thing that's strange for me about the timing is the organization presents itself as all buttoned down and analytically oriented, and everything is, down to the decimal point in terms of the plan and everything else. You've had one major injury to Sonny Gray that's been a short-term one. Like, why all of a sudden is the human element, like you said, 83 at-bats into Roman Anthony's season. Why is the human element so important right now? Does that question make any sense to you? Like, if you have all your ducks in a row and you're so buttoned down, why change course in April? Yeah, no, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, usually you go until
40, 50 games before you make any real evaluations of your team. And, the timing was so weird, too. It's like in the middle of a series in Baltimore. Sam Kennedy said that Craig Breslow made the decision Saturday morning that Alex Cora was gone. Then they went out and let him manage the game. They came in, and it was almost like an execution. These guys flew into Baltimore in the middle of the day. They were waiting for these guys at the team hotel, and then boom, 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 boom. 6 guys are out of a job. So, like I said, it was almost like a mass execution. It was just like I've never seen anything like it, especially in the middle of a season. You see manager and coaching shakeups after a season, but not to this degree. So it was almost like they better do it now. If Breslow really wants his own guys in there, they better do this now before the team gets hot, and then you're not in a PR position where you can get rid of Alex Cora and his coaches.
Yeah, something you just said stood out to me, Ian, about Breslow saying this is my team. How much of this is a power struggle? How much of this is, I gotta get Cora out of there. He's got, an express train to the owner, and, the owner loves Jason Varitek. I got to get these guys out of here and make sure that I'm the only one left standing.
Yeah, there's a narrative that Alex Cora had a lot to do with Ty Bloom's demise, and that Alex was not enchanted with the way Chaim was running things, and he kind of got to ownership. How much of that was true, I'm not sure, but Craig Breslow did not want that to happen to him. So I think once he sensed that things were going wrong, maybe there was a divide between the two. They weren't as aligned as they had been in the past. I think he got in front of it and said, look, I'm on thin ice here too with the roster I built and the way things are working out. So I better get out in front of this and make sure that if I go down with my guys, my complete confidence, and not somebody who might not be totally aligned with me right now. So I think that had a lot to do with it.
Ian, you said that, the players were taken by surprise. What does that say to you about the decision in terms of other times when it's happened, where it doesn't seem like a surprise to the players, or maybe it's something that the players wanted? Does that inform you one way or the other as to the wisdom of the decision if it took the players by such surprise?
Yeah, what's funny is that when Rafael Devers got traded last year, I remember being in Seattle in the clubhouse the next day, and I was like, this place is like eerily calm. Guys don't really seem mad even that they just traded Rafael Devers. I think that was creating a divide within the team, and I think that he was providing distraction within the team. But this was totally different. This was Trevor Story. I've never seen this guy show much emotion before. He was mad. He was like, Alex and these coaches, they're some of the best coaches in the world. They didn't get a fair shake here, and I want to know why. I said unsatisfactory answer from Breslow. He said the meeting that Breslow and Kennedy had before Sunday's game was unsatisfactory. So I think that there conversations need to be had to get this team kind of back aligned. So, yeah, there were a lot of Cora guys in there still. I think the veterans especially, there's not many veterans on the team, but the veterans on the team were particularly taken aback by Alex Cora being kind of scapegoated for the start.
These pesky humans with their emotions. Now, Ian, I've been hearing this weekend, I don't talk to them, but just on radio and stuff from major league people that say there is a belief in baseball that Chaim Bloom got screwed a little bit. Is that something that you have heard?
That Chaim Bloom got screwed when he was
fired, and that was why it was difficult for them to find another general manager. Is that Chaim Bloom kind of delivered on his directive?
I know that Chaim felt like that, certainly, just through back channels.
Yeah.
I know that he felt that, like I said, he felt like Alex Cora in the end didn't have his back. And that was, I know there was some bitterness there. But, just look at the chain of events the last many years, guys. Dave Dombrowski wins a World Series. He's fired a year later. Chaim Bloom is instructed by the team basically to trade Mookie Betts, go off on a rebuilding program. He does that. He gets guys like Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer, and he's gone. now you go get Craig Breslow, and you're going to go full throttle, and then we see what happened that offseason. They didn't go full throttle. And then they went out, and the next year they got Garrett Crochet, Alex Bregman. And then this year they said this is going to be our window of contention is opening, right? So you expected a big offseason. And you let Alex Bregman go, you don't get the power hitter you said you were going to get. So, yeah, there's a lot of mixed messages, I think, from ownership right now, and from Craig Breslow himself about, what this team is. And that's what Trevor Story said yesterday. He said, what's our direction? I need clarity on what our direction is. So, yeah, there's a lot of question marks right now.
Well, it seems like a very unfortunate position to be in if you're Anthony or Meyer, because there's no stars to fall back on. You understand? Like, you're being asked to carry these things out. And maybe, did Cora in any way, in your understanding, have a bad relationship with any of the kids?
His relationship with Roman Anthony was great. I think that his relationship with Meyer was, I don't think it was that good. I just think that...
did that factor into anything?
Yeah, I think that maybe what factored in was that maybe they felt like Alex Cora wasn't getting through to the young players as much as maybe another manager would. Maybe he wasn't getting the most out of the young core. Maybe those guys had taken a step back this year. So certainly I think that could have been a factor. I think that's absolutely in play.
Okay, so if I'm Roman Anthony and I've had 83 at-bats, I keep coming back to this season in the major leagues, and they're making these sweeping managerial changes in part based on my performance, and there's no established star to pick up the slack. It's like it's like this crazy amount of pressure on these kids. You saw how it worked out in Baltimore. It doesn't seem like a good way to bring up, like all-world prospects. Like, you either say we're rebuilding or you say we're going to win, but you're a piece of this puzzle and there's other guys to fall back on if you struggle.
Yeah, the roster is flawed. And look, they plan to bring Alex Bregman back, and that's the whole root of the issue here, is that they put all their eggs in the basket of bringing Alex Bregman back because he was the perfect mentor to these guys. He really was. I saw it up close. And then they thought Boris was playing them. They thought that they were bidding against themselves, so I think they got a little smug about it. He winds up going to the Cubs, and at that point of the offseason, they didn't have a backup plan. There wasn't another guy out there who had Alex Bregman's cachet where he could kind of protect the young guys. And I think that Roman Anthony and many of the young guys were upset that Bregman didn't come back to this team. So I think that's an issue. That's an issue also. So, yeah, there's just a lot. But I agree. You can't put this much on a 21-year-old. And that's not going to work until Wilson Contreras is starting to hit, so that's a good thing. But you need other guys. You need Jaron Duran to start pulling his weight. You need Willie Abreu to start hitting like he was early in the year. You just can't be putting all the pressure on Roman Anthony. You notice that Chad Tracy, now this is one thing that I think is key, is that Chad Tracy is now managing this team, and he managed all of these young guys at AAA, every single one of them. And he has a good relationship with them. And Roman, while he was upset about Cora, he was very excited that Chad Tracy was coming in. I think Marcelo Meyer had a big smile on his face yesterday, knowing that he's going to play for Chad Tracy again. So I think this is the one thing they have going for them right now, is that this was the absolute right choice to be the interim manager.
Regardless of who the manager is for a moment, Ian, I just sitting there and listening to Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow meet the media, I'm not sure they have any idea that the roster is flawed. Do you get any? They seem to be relentlessly positive in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Am I misreading this?
Well, a lot of that is PR, but I think it was interesting that Craig Breslow did say that in his parting conversation with Alex Cora, he did say Breslow acknowledged that this was a challenging roster to manage. And I think what he meant by that, especially with the glut in the outfield, where you have the 5 guys for 4 spots. And, personally, I think Alex Cora is a big proponent of Masataka Yoshida. I wouldn't be surprised if Yoshida's playing time takes a big dip now that Chad Tracy is running this team, because Cora always saw something in Yoshida that wasn't really adding up on the field. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out now. And you wonder if the next decisions are going to be, maybe DFAing some guys who aren't really producing or don't really fit on the roster. So you make the roster more functional.
All right. Well, it should be interesting. Certainly drama already, which is, I guess, Ian, is what all you can ask for. You have a lot to cover right now.
Yes.
All right. So read all about it on MLB.com. Ian Brown, as always, appreciate the time, sir.
All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. I'm gonna go find somebody to supervise right now.
Thank you. Please do. I mean, you're slacking on the clock. It's after 9 o'clock. All right. Thank you, Ian. We appreciate it.
See you guys.
There are a lot of ways they could have handled that press conference yesterday. You know, all of us share in some of the blame, but we felt this was necessary. We have to make a change to kind of jumpstart our team. We should be performing better than this. And instead, they laid it all at Alex Cora's feet. And that bothered me. It bothered me because ownership has taken no responsibility. Upper management has taken no responsibility for any of this, despite the mistakes they make year after year after year. At the trade deadline, Breslow, at the trade deadline last year, panicking and getting Dustin May, who is atrociously bad for the Red Sox, has pitched well for St. Louis this year. But every move they have made has been contrary to getting good. And now they say they have a fully formed roster, which is supposed to be better. I don't know how much better they really are. And that it bothers me that a guy like Craig Breslow, who is a friggin' robot, will stand up there and say all of these words that mean nothing. And we saw it again yesterday. Bothers me a lot.
Well, it was his decision, and I'm sure without the blessing of, Kennedy or ownership or anything else. He just marched into the office and said, I need to fire Alex Cora.
No problem, sir. Go right to it.
John Henry said, why?
It's like flipping a switch. It's like pressing a button. Okay, you go do that. Let me press this button, and the move is executed.
It's this orchestrated thing, and they're making Breslow, and I'm sure he's all for it, but they're going to lay it at his feet just so they somehow don't look bad in all this. It's like, it's too late for that. It's too late for ownership and the true front office people to not look bad over this or what this team is doing this season.
All right. Well, look, they've won 2 games. They've won 2 games since the managerial change. All right. We'll be back in just a moment with our award-winning email segment.
Robot style.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports.
turn the mics on.
I don't know what it is. I don't have time to think about that right now.
Toucher and Hardy.
It's ridiculous.
The Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
They're all laughing. They're all laughing.
That was a tour de force.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Needed a longer bed.
That's right.
Wow. You okay? You all right?
No, I just got myself worked up for no reason. Be Real is getting me all worked up. Our old producer, Be Real, is texting me and getting me all worked up.
Party, that was one text.
Nothing,
That's all it took.
nothing even happened.
One
He
text.
just got me all worked. I hate him so much. I just hate him so much. If you get cute, you piece of garbage. You keep your mouth shut. Daddy's going to let everyone know everything. The Toucher and Hardy, and I am your father. Toucher and Hardy email bit is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers, the fathers of injury lawyers. If you've been in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit Glassman. I've got not one email.
I really
so I'm not
wish,
even going to do it.
I really wish George pulled a Nick and just left the cameras on for that one. That would have been good.
You want to get cute, funny, fresh?
Just don't do it. I'm telling you, just like Vrabel, you got caught. Don't do it.
Okay.
Throw your hands up. That's all. Timma says, John seems to have gotten his groove back. I don't know what's in the water in Western Pennsylvania, but John is a little too energized with contributing commentary on everything today and saying his name a little too proud in the headlines. In short, I don't like it. Someone needs to trim his wings and restore order. I will tell you this. I am very impressed with John coming and admitting that he had a terrible time on his vacation. Because that's all I want to hear.
I know. You want me to lean into it. If I don't do it, you will. So
well, because it's no. When you went to the Dominican, I didn't even ask questions because I knew that because you went to a nice destination and had a fun time. But when you are setting yourself listen. When I used to have to go to my in-laws for Thanksgiving, I will be honest, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I'd be looking at the weather reports, praying for a swarm of locusts to attack the city so our plane could not take off. I knew sometimes I was heading in, and everyone knew. The people we were going to, my family, everyone knew no one was going to have a good time. These things happen in life. Fortunately, my parents have a big place in the middle of nowhere with a lake, so everyone can remove themselves from each other and everyone has a pretty good time. But a rainy day, if you didn't have a good time in Manhattan, I wasn't expecting that. I knew you were going to be miserable at your in-laws' house.
No, the Manhattan was good except for that one day where we had set aside, okay, we're taking everyone to Yankee Stadium, and it just sucked. The weather just sucked. And then we're walking around, Midtown Manhattan, as you wanted. The kids were interested, take the kids to the NBA store or whatever. But it was so uncomfortable out there because it was 49 degrees, windy, and raining. You know what I mean? It just, that one day did not go well. But we had basically had a good time in New York.
Yeah.
One of my best parts of my trip, I rediscovered sky caps. Oh. I didn't know that was still the thing, and it was my buddy who told me. He's like, yeah, you probably never see them because you're getting dropped off, at a central Uber or Central Park, and you don't go to the outside departures, at the airport anymore. I'm like, yeah, I can't remember the last time I was at an outside departure thing for a trip I was taking myself, other than dropping someone off. I said, yeah, absolutely. So utilized it in Boston. And then on the way back, because I had golf clubs, otherwise I wouldn't be checking a bag. But I, found the sky cap and just was checking my bag out there. And it's not just the fact that you can do it. you get a chance to talk to somebody a little bit. You know, the person at the counter, they don't want to talk. So I'm talking with the Delta Sky Cap, and he's like, "Oh, you're where are you headed?" I'm going to Boston. He goes, "Oh, what are you on the 5:30 here kind of early?" I said, "No, actually, you know, we're going to stop in Atlanta on the way back, and you know, we're talking about that flight change and how there's a schedule." And we started talking about, and he's like, "Well, you know, if you want to fly Delta," and I said, "Well, I do." And we started talking about a couple other airlines, and I turn around and my wife and son gone.
Yeah, no. That my wife is guilty of this too. My wife, whenever we try and leave a place, my wife will stay behind and chat with like 5 or 6 different people. Meanwhile, the boys and I'll be next to the car.
By the way, no better place than the airport, because who's in a rush? Just sit there and have a nice conversation with the people, because why get in and get out? Because no one's got anywhere else to be.
There was nobody behind me. There was no one else checking a bag.
Right.
And this guy and I were having a chin wag. There's nothing wrong with the conversation.
Your wife
we were
and
having.
son are out of line, because who doesn't want to linger in the airport and not get it over?
You're not limiting that Sky Cap's ability to earn extra tip money either, while you standing there and taking up his time like that.
Just because we had dressed as one does to return home to Boston, and we're standing outside, 88 degrees, little humid.
Sure.
It's middle of the day. All right, maybe they don't want to stand outside in that. I did.
Yeah, you're cold-blooded.
I wanted to have a chat. We wanted to talk a little bit.
So I had, of course, because of me, stained the thing that I wore down. My plan was to wear one long sleeve shirt down and wear the same shirt back.
Perfect.
But I've, of course, stained the whole thing. So I had to go out and buy a hoodie. Now, I didn't want to go all...
Bahamar hoodie?
Well, I thought of that. I thought of our own friend here. It
would have been a great bit to show up wearing that thing today.
No. So, you know, because we got Ryan over here who tramps around in his Atlanta's sweatshirt like he owns the place. So I had to go on property, buy a sweatshirt that didn't have the logo on it. How much?
Ooh.
Take a guess how much that cost me just to have something to wear on the plane where the temperature is 20 degrees.
A shop in the hotel?
Like it's a big resort.
Okay. Oh,
like there was like not
Atlantis.
in the casino. Like there's a Cartier in the casino and stuff. Not that.
Okay. God, I mean, it's a minimum of 80. I want to say 110.
$260.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's $260.
Why don't you just have them launder the stained shirt?
Why? I don't know, man. How? And guess if there was a tag on it. No. So it was one of those things, and I got my daughter a T-shirt because, like, I was buying myself something, so I got her like a Baja Mar T-shirt to wear to bed. Well, the whole thing together was over $300. It was like $340 because why not? And you know what you need to buy at a resort too is suntan lotion, because that's no markup on that. They don't have you by the balls on that. And by the way, I'm red
because you can't take it with you if you're going to do a carry-on.
No, I checked the bag. I was there for 5 nights.
Well, that's on you.
No, I brought lotion, but look at me. Like, and my daughter's even more fair-skinned than me. We're quite Aryan, even though she's half Jewish. I mean, you wouldn't. But we're
God.
Well, I mean, fingers crossed, you know, like the whole growing up thing. But if I took off my shirt, I have actual discoloration.
Oh.
From the sun. I am so not meant for the sun. So I was putting 100 SPF on after the first day and putting stuff on my face. Yet this is still how I come out.
I know.
My son gets a golden brown. He's like, my ex-wife gets the like a golden brown. They have more melatonin or melanin. Not melatonin. We'd all be in bad shape, but they got more melanin. But me and my daughter are very fair-skinned. And we're out there in the sun, and the whole thing's boiling up.
I barely mess with it anymore. I put up a big umbrella, and I just sit under that. And, you know, I'll get enough somewhere out there, you know, tossing the disc. We were tossing the disc on the beach, and I, out of the corner of my eye, saw a guy, that Florida guy, sitting in the beach chair by himself, just kind of, you know, being a Florida guy. And I saw him mimicking my forehand throw. Like he was trying to figure out how I was doing it, because
He's like, who's this hot shot?
Well, he was trying to figure out how I was doing it, and I saw in the corner of my eye he was kind of like, you know, practicing it himself.
How old the fella?
Oh, he was a young guy. He couldn't have been more than 55.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
young cat. So the kids are getting into it.
So despite this resort's price, they let people sell their wares on the beach. I think that they had to have like approval from the hotel, but they could sell their wares.
The drinks made out of or they have coconuts there, or
yeah, pineapple and coconuts.
Pineapple
were both available, and,
Yeah.
and that's going to get you right over the top. That $30 pile of sugar is really going to get you drunk. And they had people braiding hair and henna and all these things.
Nice.
And I actually at one point thought, why is no one coming up to me? It's either A, because I look like I don't have the money to pay for it, which I assumed, or B, I have a face that says stay away. Because at one point I was wondering, they were going up to everyone, but they never once said anything to me. And it was me and my daughter. I mean, not even hair braiding.
Yeah, you would think they would at least. God, it seems like you'd be an easy mark. Guy with his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not approachable.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, is that either I come off as highly unapproachable or I come off as not having the funds.
No, count your blessings.
But I think it's also odd that they think people on a beach are carrying around a bunch of cash in their pocket. That's, like, they're not taking credit cards. So I heard many conversations with guys buying cigars because where else what more do you need on the beach than a nice Cuban cigar from a guy walking the beach? Because you want to keep that whole enterprise running. Because you couldn't just walk into the resort and buy a cigar at any of the number, or the cigar bar that was at the resort. You got to buy it from the guy walking up and down the beach. Because let's encourage this.
Yeah.
Loud yelling in our faces, like, so good. Because you needed it at 2:00 in the afternoon. You couldn't have gotten it at any other time. And then the guy goes, I'm watching this whole thing because I'm so pissed at the guy for buying it. And the guy's like, do you want me to cut it? And he's like, no, keep it in the wrapper. I want to save it for later. Why'd you buy it on the beach?
Yeah.
There's literally a whole cigar bar in the effing resort.
Now I want to stick it in my pocket and then I have to take it out when I go into the water.
Yeah, I want it all covered in sand and all crappy, and I want to make sure it's not even real. Can I get it from a guy with no shoes on the beach? That's where I know I'm getting the finest Cuban cigar known to man. And what a deal, too, because they're really cutting it. And the way that they were wheeling and dealing. Oh my God. Oh, stop it. Just pay the person. Like, wheeling and dealing. Well, it's $45. Well, for two. Well, I'll give you 40 for the two. Ooh. Whoa, shrewd. You handed him 220s. Like, how'd you figure that out? You're a real New Yorker. Ugh. So I just sit there pissed the entire time.
So
overhearing everything and just getting angry.
The two things that I refuse to ever do, and I don't get, the banana boat.
Oh yeah, that can be a real
that's a
like
whole
that
other
booze
thing.
cruise thing can be a real bait and switch.
No, the banana boat is the twin pontoon things where you sit on and and you get pulled around by a real powerful jet ski.
Yeah.
So I see him take him out, and my son's kind of eyeballing it. Like I said, trust me, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And he's like, why? I said, you'll see. And sure enough, they get out there, and it looks fun for about 3 minutes. And then they're out there for like 20 or 30 minutes, and they're like, well, they're really not bouncing around or doing anything. I said, no, you'd be bored out of your mind.
No,
that's
you're just
number one.
you're a small boat being pulled.
And number two, the parasailing thing, which I don't want to because I don't like heights, and I don't want to be up that high. And again, it would be like this weird mixture of boredom and fear. Like I'm low-level scared for a long time.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Well, they're all accredited and they've all got their affairs in order. They have but I'll tell you, I watched it. They get you right on the boat. Like when they release you from the parasail, you descend onto the actual deck of the boat, which I found quite impressive.
There is another
way.
Yeah, there's another way of doing it where you can do it without any of the danger. Where they'll sit you on a platform, they reel you out, and then they reel you back in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what they do for all of them. But the thing is that what if the thing gets all twisted up and then you land in the water and they're pulling you underwater and you die?
I don't want to be up there.
Well, no. Who wants to? So what? For 5 hours, I got to sit there like getting strapped into this thing by guys pulling a boat for a living? No, I don't want to do that. But I always want them to ask me if I want a jet ski, because I can go, why? I own one.
There you
Get out of here, kid.
Yeah.
I got one in East Tennessee. I ride it constantly. It was such a good purchase. My kids love it for 2 seconds. But I really want to like wag my finger like, you asking me if I want to rent a jet ski? Yeah. Well, I had to rent 2 feet.
Yeah, I didn't you didn't see me bring any sand to this beach, did you? No.
Come on.
Not doing it.
Well, you think you're dealing with some guy who doesn't have a jet ski? Get it the hell out of here. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline.
It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what's going on?
There is a new cruise to talk about.
Wait, is this the one with Creed?
Yes.
Could you do? I'm sorry to do this. Could you do me a favor and skip this because I wanted to turn this into a segment for later this week.
By all means.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry to throw you a curveball at the last minute there.
No, but that will require some more discussion than what we're going to have time for right now.
Thanks, buddy.
There is a radio merger in the works, Fred.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have thoughts about satellite radio. This apparently has happened rather recently that SiriusXM and iHeartMedia are in discussions to create a merger.
Smart.
Between their 860 terrestrial radio stations and satellite radio, making this...
Wow.
What's with the wind, Speedle?
Well, there's just so much good programming there. Yes, satellite should really get in on that.
Wait a second. Eddie Trunk. They'll sit down with Eddie and they'll go, how many stations do you want? And he'll pull the trigger. It's really up to what Eddie wants. He's like, you want me to talk about 80s and 70s, late 70s, early 80s hard rock and heavy metal, including the new wave of British heavy metal? I can do that.
Yeah.
There's good programming everywhere.
So does
would iHeart have to pay them to take the stations? Is that how that works?
They have Stern.
This would combine satellite, iHeart, Pandora, and of course,
also a really successful product.
Major podcasting networks, as we already know, satellite radio has already invested heavily in podcasts,
which ruined them.
You can't get that anywhere else.
No, that's a real exclusive.
Well, the business model,
satellite radio.
The business model has proved to tank. Like, didn't that Odyssey or iHeart? One of them got screwed because they invested all this money in celebrity podcasts.
It was Odyssey.
So it was Odyssey.
Yeah.
So Odyssey invested. By the way, these people have been broadcasting since the history of broadcasting, apparently. So they pivot and they give these podcasts to these celebrities for these ridiculous amounts of money. It's basically so they can have a press release. And then they find out, no one wants to advertise on these things. And so it tanks them. The one thing you have is live programming. You have live programming, and I would assume in that myriad of radio stations, there is some talent out there that is bankable, but you turn to people that have never done this form of entertaining. They're fantastic actors, they're, whoever, and then you ask them to carry a show, and it's not even a live show with any interaction. It's just a taped conversation. It's all the same thing, and then you marvel at how this didn't take off. Jesus, satellite radio is 1,000 times better than that. At least Mad Dog's live. Like, at least they got my man Eddie. Mm-hmm. Stern, the days he's on, is still at least Howard Stern. It's better than some jackass comedian talking to the same people in a rotation. Jesus, please start acquiring everything.
Well, it would.
Radio's in a really good spot. Today nothing has manifested it more than today.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a real kick to the balls. The whole thing's falling apart. It's more of a macro situation than anything else.
You don't feel encouraged by today's announcement?
No, there was a time people tried.
Beetle, you're one break too late.
No,
try. There's a time that you would try.
T-Bone tells me all the time I'm too negative about the industry and that I should just focus on our station. And that makes me happy.
But you look at a macro.
So that's what I do. I
like,
just try and look at our station and what we've got.
But the collective, when you see things like today, is just, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, you're not even trying.
Well, they tried the one time.
Well,
They're
just-
trying again. I would say they're
Haven't
really
you ever
trying.
try again?
Yeah.
You ever teach your kids that?
If at first you fail, try again.
Wouldn't you at least just go like, maybe someone would go like, oh, who? And then you go, oh, okay. And then there's like that smidgen of doubt. Like that smidgen of like
Because of what
a
happened
chance. No. If it never happened before, then you go, "Ah, maybe.
Oh.
But now you just assured yourself. It's like it's like nuclear war. Megadeth, mutual assured destruction.
I have a feeling we're going to dedicate a couple of segments to
No. Well,
all right. I'm just saying.
Well,
I would leave open that possibility. 12. Leave a couple of blocks open.
Believe me, I have no intention of doing that, and if I am forced into that, it's just going to be a whole mess.
I'll show up to watch.
No. I haven't said anything. If I start saying actual stuff, I've just talked in vague things. I hate the guy. That's all I've said. But
there's nothing
if I
more
gotta
vague
start
than
saying-
that.
If I gotta,
very ambiguous.
it's ambiguous. If I got to start telling stories, then we can tell stories. We start with the big meeting. We tell a bunch of stories. What are you going to sue me when there's 8 people there that will say the same thing happened? Very good. I've fallen on my face publicly and paid amends for it. Believe me.
We'll see you all tomorrow.
We are going to get the best of Fred in the coming days.
Oh,
I can
hell yeah,
feel it.
you are.
I can feel it.
I
baby.
hope- I hope
I can
you
feel
enjoy
it.
the
He's
ride.
heating
I
up,
believe
baby.
this.
Yeah.
Only if
Wind
forced,
him up.
Only if forced into it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
My intention is to do nothing.
Okay.
No, I swear to God. I
Okay.
swear to God. Because it's like I'm 51. Like I best saved. I'm not writing a book. It's water under the bridge. But if I'm forced,
In your opinion.
well, it's like
From
do
where
you,
you sit.
It's like, do you really want to do this?
Oh boy.
And like we can do it.
Fred wants to do it.
Oh, he definitely
wants
wants
to
to
do
do
it.
it.
Fred wants to do it.
There's stuff that needs to be tapped
It
into.
would just be so incredibly stupid because then your life starts getting affected. It would just not be good. All right. Well, listen, Bertrand, have a wonderful day.
Have a good day, Mark.
Thanks. Thrilled to be back.
That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.